hiring people,
que cuando contratando personas,
their faces should reflect the community.
las caras deben reflejar la comunidad.
We do have to do a better job.
Sí tenemos que hacer mejor trabajo.
I can only tell you what I will do as mayor.
Solamente puedo decirle lo que yo haría como alcalde.
As my example was as council.
Thank you for tuning in to LCTV's live preliminary election results special. Our panel will offer their opinions and insights on the candidates running for seats on the Lynn City Council and School Committee, as well as Mayor of Lynn. Our panelists tonight are State Representative Dan Cahill, Steve Krause, and Magnolia Contreras.
Good evening and welcome to our 2021 municipal primary election coverage. I'm joined here by a great host of panel hosts here. We're going to introduce first Magnolia Contreras. She's a board member of the EDIC. She'd like to say a few words. Please.
Good evening. Hi, it's a pleasure to be here. Magnolia Contreras. I am a board member with EDIC. And almost a lifelong Lynner. Thank you.
And also joining us is Steve Krause. Now, Steve, before we get going, I have to give you a bit of thanks. It's my understanding that you have retired from the daily item after how many years of service?
42.
42 years. I want to thank you on behalf of many, many folks in Lynn, in the greater Lynn area, for the amazing dedication you've given to many of your readers, to a lot of sports, both high school, college, and professional, and myself as well. I greatly appreciate you, and with that glowing remark, turn it over to you to say hello as well.
Good evening, everybody. The first thing I want to say is, Dan, I wrote a column once about Dan. Dan called me up and said, "You embarrassed my mother." Never mind, it was obviously it was a complimentary column.
Thank you.
But he didn't take my advice. But be that as it may, I'm really looking forward to this election tonight. I think that there's an awful lot going on, and I think that with the diversity of the candidates and so many people running, we have a chance to make a little history tonight. Let's hope we do.
And with that, we're very excited to start getting going. I believe the time is just around 7:32, so there's about 28 minutes left for folks to be able to go out and vote. We encourage everyone to stop what they're doing now, if you haven't voted, to go to your local polling station and cast your vote in this very vital election. We don't have much of a script here. In fact, we have zero script here, which makes things even more exciting. Now, I have spoken to our panelists. Many of you are very excited to either call in or text us and have us do silly things. Please refrain from doing so. It's very distracting. So with that, what do we think about tonight? We've seen some preliminary numbers in front of us. The city has released some data from ward and precincts, and the total vote turnout broken down from 2:30 this afternoon and then 4:30 this afternoon. And I myself just voted around 6:50 or so. And we have that on the screen now. So, Steve and Magnolia, I'm curious what your thoughts are, the breakdown of some of these numbers and how this plays in today's election, and which campaigns you think this benefits, both in the mayoral, the at-larges. We can break down to the wards. There are a few ward races, as well as the school committee.
Sure.
I am kind of, I won't say surprised, but I know Ward 1 is a populous ward, but where there's no opposition to Mr. Losey in Ward 1, those numbers are very, very strong to me. And on the other hand, you have a good race in Ward 3, and those numbers look, as of 4:30 at least, look a little low to me.
Yeah.
For the candidates, and particularly the two candidates running. And ditto Ward 4. You know, and my home Ward 5 she's unopposed. I got Chakota, so that doesn't surprise me. And neither do 6. Does 6 and neither 7 maybe because there are more of them than I would have thought because of the lack of opposition. That's my initial analysis.
So I think I agree with you. In Ward 1 in particular, the lack of opposition there really speaks to what the results will be for the mayor's race, right? So I'm interested to see the impact of this vote on the mayor's race.
School committee too. I mean, yeah, that's going to be very interesting to see what happens in the mayor's race.
Well, I think that's the big race of the evening. I can tell you that someone has just did not heed my request and did text me, but however, texted me good information. The updated numbers from the polling places as of 6:30 this evening.
Great.
And, I mean, it seems to be pretty much on track. I'll just highlight a few here that seem to jump out. Sticking with Ward 1, it looks like Ward 1 Precinct 1 has gone to about 620 votes. And Ward 1 Precinct 2, not far behind at 590 votes. So that looks like it jumped about 140 votes, give or take, within the last within 2 hours. Consistently with that, 90 votes in addition in Ward 1-3 for 430, and then Ward 1 Precinct 4 of 392. Ward 2 Precinct 1, which is also a pretty good turnout.
That is, yeah.
District is at 543. At 650, I was 548.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
for like 20 minutes, 5 people voted.
Yeah.
And we have, let's see, Ward 3 continues to be an interesting ward because it's, as a total, it looks like it's outpacing wards 4, 5, 6, and 7. And that's, of course, because we have...
Well, you have Darren Sher.
We have a race.
Ward
Yes.
3.
Yeah,
No,
we have a race.
you have a race and you have Darren Sher.
And Jared Nicholson also lives in Ward 3. So you have two candidates. You have George Mateus and you have Coco, who's running, they're both running
Very active
fantastic, very
campaign,
active campaigns. And I know that they're doing some IDing and pulling the vote.
Yeah.
And like I said, you have Jared Nicholson, who incidentally lives across the street from Coco. And you have Darren Sear, who's represented the ward for many years. So
16 years or so.
usually kind of always an active ward, but really not very, they're active voting-wise, but not very active candidate-wise. All of a sudden has a lot of and the mayor, Tom McGee, lives in Ward 3.
Yes.
Everyone seems to be going to Ward 3 these days.
But I have to make
It's
an
'cause
observation that
beach.
those numbers, given the candidates that are, the elections that are in that ward, should be stronger, don't you think?
I do.
Right?
But here's an interesting point. So 4-1 as of 4:30 had 68 votes. Ward 4, Precinct 1. And in an hour, it jumped up to 182. Percentage-wise, a very strong increase.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. 4-1, for folks who don't know,
Wow.
that's generally near the beach area
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
So it seems like folks down in the Diamond District beach area are voting.
Yeah.
Oh, no, that's 4-4. No, 4-1 is not. That's 4-4. I apologize. No, 4-1 is up closer
In
to
the
the
Highlands.
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 Yes. 4-1's
So
closer to the
that's
Highlands.
a strong number.
So
for
that's a
that
very
area.
strong number for the
That's
area.
right. That's exactly right.
And that's very interesting. And 4-2 jumped from 81 votes, looks like, to 117 votes. Ward 4 seems to be very interesting. And now
Yeah,
they've gone
coming
from
on.
128 votes in 4-3 to 175 votes, and only an extra 60 votes in Ward 4. So if you're breaking it down, it seems like more of the minority area of Ward 4 is starting to come out and vote in the last couple hours, which is
This would
is
be
good
a
news.
very, very interesting race
Yeah.
because if it's possible that if indeed it is the minority vote or the people of color voting, Natasha has a real chance here.
You have Natasha. You have several members of the city council at large
Yeah.
running.
Yeah.
And also
Yeah.
you have Michael Satterwhite.
Yeah.
So it's interesting how those numbers break down per candidate.
Yeah.
The rest of the city,
And by the way, Dan, it would
Yes.
just be terrific to see that ward have such strong numbers. I think over the past years we've been surprised at the low turnout. So just alone on the level of engagement, that would be terrific to see.
it'd be great.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
and obviously we want involvement across the city.
Correct.
Because that's the way we can grow and move forward together. And that's an exciting prognosis. So we have, if you want, we can jump to a couple of campaigns. If you want to start, focusing on a few sections, we have, like I said, the mayor, the at-larges, and the school committee, and then we can break down some of the wards. What's everyone's pleasure? Ladies' choice.
Why don't we talk a little bit about the school committee?
Ooh, very important.
Yes.
Like near and dear. My first,
Very much.
election was back in 2000. I'm not going to tell people. Was quite some time ago. Was to the school committee. It's one of my favorite elected positions. I love it.
What's your reflection on if it's one of your elected positions, and how are you seeing the pool of
critically important.
candidates right now, and some of the?
I'm excited about the candidates. I mean, some folks have moved on. Obviously, two current members are running for mayor. Education has been in the spotlight in the city for quite some time. It's an absolutely critical, important issue. To be full disclosure, my children are both in public schools in Lynn, and my wife is a teacher in Lynn Public Schools. I'm very excited about this list of candidates, and I've met them all, and they're all very wonderful people, which is exciting. Sometimes, I'm not going to say who, sometimes we have some interesting candidates who run in the city throughout time, but I'm extremely encouraged by the group that we have here. It's a very diverse group, both culturally and gender-wise, and they all are really nice people.
Yes. And to add to what you just said, life experiences too that really adds value to the diversity of our community. How they're showing up for these races, their own histories are really also in front of this. So I think that's going to be important because they're going to be able to speak to the issues that the families are dealing with that might be helped during the school committee. The school committees process their work and how schools respond to some of the needs in our communities as well.
I also think too that, COVID is the gift, if I can be sarcastic for a minute, COVID is the gift that keeps on giving. It just seems to never want to go away.
Yeah.
And this would really be the first school committee that would be elected with that as a backdrop. I mean, the last one was in 19 and we didn't even know what it was. So.
Yeah.
This would be the first one that would be with COVID as a backdrop, and the way COVID is dealt with in the schools. I know not everybody has been thrilled by what the schools have done with COVID, but be interesting to see what happens with that now that this new committee's in.
And Magnolia, you mentioned how the panel speaks to the community, and what's really interesting is that they will literally be able to speak to the community, and that we have a member of the Khmer community.
Yes.
We have people who speak Spanish on this list. So for the first time, we'll have some real representation from other parts of the community,
Yes.
and they'll be actually able to communicate on a one-to-one level,
Which I
is
think
really
parents
cool.
will benefit from, and the entire school committee process, our kids would benefit from that. Much more of an inclusive opportunity here.
Yes, I would agree with that.
So we're not going to make any predictions, right? Because we're just going to get ourselves in trouble if we start making predictions.
Wow.
That's a tough one to make a prediction. I think we're rooting for the diversity of opinion and the diversity that is offered here in the school committee.
The only prediction I'm going to make all night long is there will be a new mayor.
There will be. Well, I'm going to make a couple predictions. One, Donna Capola is going to win. Donna Capola always wins. Let's just face it. Donna is a staple on the Lynn School Committee, and she deserves it. She's very hardworking. I served with her. I'm not going to say when, but some time ago. So I will chalk that up. I'm going to predict that Donna. That's the go-to bet. Encore has her 2-1.
All right, 2-1?
No problem.
Okay.
No problem. But the rest, you never know. 1 of 6 votes is a crapshoot sometimes. Folks have different strategies. The bullet. I'm going to go in there and I'm going to bullet one person. Some people, they use their full 6, and we always try to encourage people to use their full 6, of course, unless you're running for office and you encourage them to use one. But
I'll tell you, with Donna, because of the pandemic, I've been working from home, so I haven't been able to see if Donna's father is out there still early in the morning holding up signs.
it's her brother-in-law.
It's her brother-in-law?
Pat's out there.
Has he been out there?
Pat's always
he
out
was
there.
out there with
He's on Buchanan Bridge.
Who was he had a sign for? It was out in front of the Knights.
He's always,
saw him
he
today.
has his locations.
locations.
I feel like he should have his own like Twitter page. You know, people came up with the Ghost of Tip O'Neill. They have these Twitter handles. They should have one dedicated to Pat because I think it would people follow him.
I just forget who he was campaigning for.
We
but-
do know. I believe I know how, but we're trying not to influence
think-
folks in the next 16
Yeah.
minutes.
But he's a sure in, standing in for her.
He's the best.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
mean, just
Staple in the city, right, around elections. Love it.
old school campaigning. And speaking of old school campaigning, we've seen, if we want to get away from some of the elections, what have you seen? What's your observations as far as the campaigns? Let's focus on the mayor's campaign for a little while, only because they seem to have the more vibrant type of traditional campaigns that are going on, obviously, and a lot of money being raised and spent in that race. What are your observations as far as people running campaigns in the mayor's race?
My observations are that Jared Nicholson has been very, very busy in my ward.
And which ward is that?
Ward 5. I like the guy, so I'm not. This isn't to criticize, but I came home at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. There was a Nicholson sign on my door. Took the sign off, brought it in, put it on the kitchen counter, went back out again. At 5 o'clock, I got home. There was a Nicholson sign on my door. So he's been very active, very busy. His
Had you
brothers-
voted at any time before then or after that?
When I came home from 5, that is right, as after I voted. His brother's been to the house a couple of times. Jared himself came to the house. I'm sure other candidates have been up there. I just haven't seen them. The only one I've seen is Jared in my ward. So,
Magnolia.
It has been a really good campaign. They have been working hard. July was a rainy month. Early August was hot. They were out there door knocking, talking to people. I saw many of our candidates, both in the mayor race and some other ward races, wet and soaking with sweat, and they were out there knocking. I've been very impressed at how visible many of the candidates have been. Still, I think this is about visibility and getting their messages out. And on my ward, Jared has been much more visible as an individual being there. I think there's no question how many signs and support Darren Sear has around the city. And we'll need to see how that's going to pan itself out tonight. But Jared just persistent. If it's not him, his wife, and other representatives of his campaign. Less I have seen of the Satterwhite. I have not seen much of the Satterwhite campaign in my area, but that doesn't mean that they didn't make other decisions around where they were going to focus their race.
Satterwhite, I saw a lot up in Wyoming Square. And I call it Solomini Island. Everybody's got their own name for it. That's mine. But he's been there quite a few Saturdays.
Mm-hmm. Well, he has his headquarters up the old Haywards.
Yep.
And he lives in Ward 1. Mm-hmm. So maybe these numbers in Ward 1 may be a good reflection from Michael Satterwhite. We don't know that just yet.
But visibility in campaigns is one thing, right? It's really talking and meeting with the voters and sharing your message. And he has a strong message. So,
Yes, I agree. He does. He comes from a different,
Yeah, no, he has a strong
Lynn
message
elections
there.
it's very interesting. I remember when early on we lost a real political mind and a dear friend, John Myhouse, this last year. And it's been very
painful.
hard and
Very
very
painful.
painful for a lot of us. But I remember when I was early on young, being involved in campaigns, he would say to me, Lynn's a very special place. Money almost doesn't matter. Signs don't matter. People really vote on the person when they meet the person, and that's what they stick to. So, and we've seen campaigns where people have outraised candidates 2-3 times and have failed.
Yeah, to be honest with you, that's how I make up my mind. Even if I've never met the people, if I see them on television, let's say the Boston mayoral race comes up, if I see them on television, there's got to be something about them that I like. It's just not all numbers and money and issues and things like that. And I think that we lose sight of the fact that we're voting for human beings. We're not voting for political positions and papers and policy statements and stuff like that. We're voting for human beings, and the end of the day, it's the human being that's going to be the one that makes the decisions.
Until we're
Yeah.
replaced by
Yeah.
Siri.
Yeah.
Siri, do a budget, please.
I do have to say that just on spending and the work that it takes to fund these campaigns, the literature have been gorgeous, which
Yeah.
speaks to how expensive they are
The
and how
graphics that
expensive
have
these
been
campaigns.
tremendous, you
They've
know,
been
they-
serious about raising the money and spending it. I did not see one piece of literature that was below par. All of them were top notch, and that only speaks to how much time the candidates need to spend to raise the resources.
Which, yeah, it's. I was actually struck by that too. I've not seen anything that looks anything less than totally professional.
Yeah.
Which, okay, so let's segue a little bit back to some of the races, because we do have a pretty robust at-large race.
We do.
We do have the 4 incumbents running for re-election, Brian LaPierre, Hong Net, Brian Field, and Buzzy Barton, but we do have some folks vying for a seat. We have Nicole McLean, Marvin Hippolyte, and Jose Encarnacion. And I can't say anything bad about any of them. They're all very talented, bright, smart, caring people. They're all running really nice campaigns. I did have an opportunity to talk to Nicole McLean, and I asked her, what strikes you about this campaign that you didn't anticipate? And she had said, how nice everybody is to me. You hear things about politicians and campaigns doing things to each other.
Especially
so nice.
with that article that was in my old paper, which I do not represent here tonight. My old paper about the subtle racism that had been going on early on in the mayoral campaign, which when I talked to Nicole for a story that I did about her, that was shortly after that story appeared, and she said everybody was fine to her. It wasn't an issue with her, and I haven't seen anything since then. I didn't really notice it beforehand, but I haven't seen anything since then that would obviously that did its job. So.
Well, I think the recent census reflects the diversity of the city. Yeah. And, Lynn's a very special place in many reasons. And one is that folks, a lot of folks stay here and they grow up in diverse communities, and they have diverse friends, and you have diverse neighbors. So, hopefully obviously racism exists everywhere.
That's why I always ask about the triple L question, lifelong learner. Because other than the fact that I was born in Salem Hospital, I'm a lifelong learner. And I grew up in West Lynn with a lot of diversity, played sports with Jimmy Ridley, among others.
The best. Still runs down Easton Ave every day.
And, it's important to me that all of the diverse communities are represented and that they be treated fairly. That's all I ever tried to do when I had a chance to profile anybody was to treat them fairly. Mm-hmm. So I haven't seen anything untoward in this primary. It's all been very, very. I wish the country could run its elections the way we run them
People should
here.
listen to Massachusetts more, but that's a different discussion.
I agree with you there, absolutely. But I don't want to dismiss the fact that there are still opportunities for people to be insensitive in our city.
Yes.
And, these candidates, again, something I've admired about all of them who have been door knocking, it is not as it used to be to door knock.
No, people get so mad at you.
And COVID has just risen, right, for people. The sense of, why are you here? You're now in my space. I'm home. This is now where I'm being protected, and you want to come here to tell me about yourself. So I think there's another layer that COVID has brought to this, where I think for the candidates, an issue of safety and a reception is something that they may not have received welcoming all the time, and that they had to prepare for. So
I think there's a general overall undercurrent or overcurrent maybe of just anger and in just across the board with everybody. I mean, everybody's upset about something. Everybody's annoyed about something, you know, what you say about people don't want to have their doors knocked on and their space invaded, or they don't want to listen to political commercials. My favorite one is when a topic gets to a point where it's obvious it's going to be political, so somebody gets political, and I don't want it to be political. I think we got to grow up to the fact that everything's political now, don't you think?
Many things are, but it has to start with what is that shared community vision? What do we want as a community? And we need to find ways to have those kind of conversations so that those political discussions can be based on at least a shared idea of the representation that we want to have in the city of Lynn.
And when you talk, I have an opportunity to talk to other legislators from around the country, various conferences and whatnot. And what's unique is that Massachusetts and New England in general still has this old sense that politicians should be knocking on people's doors and they should be in people's living rooms and they should be accessible. And you talk to other folks around the country, and there's none of that. They don't door knock. What do you mean door knock? Like, what do you leafleting? What are you talking about? They rely on, I don't know what they rely on. I think they just rely on either party structure or something else. But
boiler rooms.
Here, people really expect to see folks, and they know they're elected officials. It's not uncommon to see our state and congressional members, out in the coffee shops and things.
Oh, and Lynn is not a small town. Lynn is a fairly
we have 101,000 people now.
Pretty big city, and when you see somebody, anybody like Darren or Michael or Jared, I mean, they're all over the place. I wonder how in the world they have the energy to do it, because I would drop dead after the first day.
We do have to thank the family members and friends and spouses and campaign supporters, because it is incredibly, as difficult it is on the candidate. When you're the candidate, it all falls on you, and you can take it.
Yeah, but you got a mother that would follow you to the ends of the earth.
My wife might. My mom definitely would. But
I've met your mom.
But that's what you need, and sometimes it's twice as hard on them than it is on yourself. But it's always amazing the lengths that people will go to support a candidate, and that's what really keeps you going, because you don't want to let them down.
Right. Which is why, regardless of what the elections results are, all of these candidates should really feel gratified that they have put themselves on the line to move our city forward, whatever way that may be. And I really just personally want to thank them all, because it is not easy.
Even the ones you would never vote for in a million years, they've still put themselves out there and take the criticism.
Absolutely.
I feel that way about everybody except for one person. We won't mention the one person.
Okay.
He's not from Lynn.
Really?
He's not from Lynn. Okay, maybe that's all right to mention, but
Not from Lynn. That's okay.
How about the issues? What do you think were the hot issues for that these candidates put forward for discussion in our community?
So that's always exciting too, to see throughout the years how issues, typically issues in Lynn have always been education, public safety, and like economic development. But it seems like this last, especially post-COVID, that folks have maybe changed a little bit.
Well, housing would be
Housing seems to be, of course, this doesn't seem much. There's not much going on in government anyways because of COVID, but the big issue over the summertime and just recently was the housing production plan, and that was kind of pushed on to the forefront in the media, and people really talk about it on social media. So that all of a sudden sprouted up because housing I've been surprised how important housing is. It's not just to your typical, this section of the population cares about housing. Everyone does. You have parents whose kids can't afford houses.
Not stay in our city.
And they're moving up to New Hampshire, and they're moving out of state, and they're frustrated by the cost of housing. So that has become a big issue, and obviously the candidates have a little bit of a different take on it.
I find it very hard to pin my own opinion down on the subject, never mind anybody else. I know that Darren was not for the bill.
The housing plan.
the
Housing production
yeah.
plan,
Production
yes.
plan.
It was a study, yes.
And neither was Rick. And I think that the flashpoint in all of this obviously was that big development on Monroe Street that, for our city at least, it looks like a skyscraper. I work out at the Y. Yes, I work out
The new Y.
the new Y.
New
Which is
development, the new
fabulous.
Y.
It's awesome.
Gorgeous.
I think we're all proud members, correct?
Yes.
Yes, but I'm in that exercise room, and I'm looking out the window because I go on the what do you call those things? Ellipticals. I exercise on that, and I can look out the window, and I can see that thing standing up in front of me like the Empire State Building in New York. It's just that big and ponderous and everything you want to call it. And that is, to me, the flashpoint of how this whole housing has become such an issue, because now you have the affordable housing offshoot to that. You have the developer offshoot to that, where the feeling is that you have to have that market rate housing in there. Oh, we're closed. We have to have that market rate housing in there to get a good tax base in the city so that we can do all the things we want to do. And where do you find the balance?
Right.
And I think that the next administration from top to bottom in this city, and it is all-encompassing. It's not just the mayor, it's not just the council. Believe it or not, a lot of it has to do with the schools, the school committee. How are we going to factor all this stuff in and make sense out of it all? And I'm going to be very interested to see how that all goes.
Yeah. But I do think, I was thinking about you as you were making your remarks, because you have the 3 Ls.
I'm in Triple L.
Triple L.
Lifelong Linner.
And part of the challenge here is that there are some Lynn people who were born here.
They're not gonna be here much
They
longer.
cannot afford
Right,
to be here.
yes.
They will never be able to
Right.
achieve the Triple L. And so,
That's a dubious
It's like a triple
Right,
eagle or
right.
something.
Yes, it is like a triple.
Is that a new club?
So that's
not
part
in
of the challenge, right? And so for many of us, it's, how do you have a conversation about these families who want to have their sons and daughters near them, just like we've been privileged to have, and are now unable to do it. And so there's a lot there in terms of the housing plan being a roadmap for us to have those conversations
And you would
make
like to
sound
think
decisions.
that there's a solution so that everybody can be happy. but
I don't know. The solutions are quite complicated.
I think Lynn has been
I know.
isolated from a lot of this throughout the decades because it was not a desirable place for people to want to
Yes.
move. So
Right.
Lynners stayed in Lynn, and it perpetuated itself. But Boston housing market is just, please, I mean, the wealthiest of the wealthiest in the whole entire country and world are buying there.
Yes.
And it really is pushing folks out.
Yes.
And you see a lot of folks from Chelsea, from Everett, from Revere, all moving to Lynn now, and Lynn folks moving up and out of Lynn as well to go up to near the northern border in New Hampshire. But we are closed. It's 8:03, so folks,
We got some results
Excellent.
coming
too
in
late to
already.
vote, but we already have
Excellent.
some election results coming in. So let's go
What
to
are
the
we
tape.
seeing here?
We're seeing in Ward 1, Precinct 1, that Jared Nicholson was very, very strong with 341 votes. Sayre is next at 259, and Satterwhite is third with 109.
And that's Ward 1,
That's
Precinct
Ward
1.
1 precinct, and that's the first precinct that's reported.
Can we get that up on the board for the mayor's
Yes.
race if they have that? Because everyone's looking at these zeros, and that's not good. Because here we go. Okay, so all right. Maybe we
Yeah.
won't tell them right away.
That's where I got to.
So is the only one reporting right now is 1-1?
1-1.
Looks that way.
And
Looks like.
across the board, like in the at-large race, it looks like Brian Field, which shouldn't shock anybody, he's right on the cusp of 1 and 7. He is number one at
Looking number one this
454.
time around.
And Buzzy, that would have been my other ironclad prediction, was that Buzzy would make the cut.
Well, this is only one
barely
ward.
hear you.
It's,
Yeah, but
it's still early for some of the lower ones.
He's
I know I was
actually
referring to the lower
even
ones.
number.
Yeah.
He's fourth in this.
He's fourth
LaPierre
there.
356, Net 361, Field 454, Nicole 181, Marvin
50.
50,
Is that 50? Yeah.
Joe Jose 72, and Buzzy 346.
These are,
Let's go down here. Losey, well, he's on a post, 451. In the school committee,
Let's see.
The numbers seem to be spread quite, only one over 400, and that's Lorraine
Gately. Oh, she's going to be pleased to see that. She was concerned, and I hope that she feels pleased to
Oh, you
see
got
that
some
Ward
Ward
1. We still
we
have
got
more
some Ward
coming,
4 results
but
coming
that's
in,
a strong number for
Yeah.
Lorraine. Yes.
Donna Capola 336, Eric Duggan. Dugan?
Eric Dugan, yeah, he's a newcomer. He's
Yes.
had quite a campaign going on.
Yeah, he's actually got some traction, 276. Brian Castellanos.
Is that Ward 1?
Yeah.
He lives in
This
Ward
is
1, yes.
Yeah.
Brian
Ryan is pretty
Castellanos,
strong, 255. Yeah. Lenny Pena is doing really
Pena,
well,
right.
184.
Lenny's run a really good campaign
Excellent,
this time around.
excellent.
He's done a nice job.
Yeah.
He's
he
everywhere.
learned from the previous campaign
Yeah.
and applied it to this
He
one.
is everywhere.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, now, as far as Ward 4, looks like
Can they put the Google
precinct
Doc? Can we
2.
get the Google Doc up on the main screen, if possible? Because that might be able to help some folks out.
Yeah.
We got, in Ward 4, we have Natasha, 52 in 1 and 55 in 2 for 110? I can't do math on the fly. Colucci in 1 is 42, and in 2 is 75.
You know what? Let's do. I just
Yeah.
got to text some folks. I think they want to see like just a read down of the number of
Yeah.
per election per group.
Great.
All right.
So if people want to get their pens out, here's what we have so far for.
Are we?
You can switch with me, and you can read one, and I'll read one.
Sure.
How does that sound?
All right.
Sure.
Democratic.
Perfect. Why don't
So
you
you
go
want to start
ahead
the
with
mayor's
the
race
mayor?
first?
All right, we're gonna go mayor, Ward 1, Precinct 1, Nicholson 341, Sayre 259, and Satterwhite 109 with 1 write-in, and that's not, with 5 write-ins. And all right, mayor, Ward 4, Precinct 1, Satterwhite 57, Sayre 15, Nicholson 30, in 4-2, Satterwhite 65, 36 for Sayre, and 30 for Nicholson. And in 4-4, Satterwhite 84, 101 for Sayre, and 129 for Nicholson.
Excellent.
And now you can do Counselor at Large.
Great. This is 1-1, Brian LaPierre, 356. Hong Net, 361. Brian Field, 454. Nicole McLean, 181. Marvin Hippolyte, 50. Jose Encarnacion, 72. Buzzy Barton, 346. Now we're going to Ward 4. Ready?
I'm doing a very bad job of writing down the council at large ones because there's so many of them.
so
But I got
many,
the
right.
mayor's one going so
All right.
far.
So does our audience want to hear the rest of it? Is that what we're doing?
I'm
Or-
sure.
Absolutely.
Yes. They want to see some numbers.
Ward 4
Numbers.
is almost all in, so let's do
For
4-1.
councilor at large or for mayor?
Counselor at large.
Great, let's
Well,
go.
for everybody, really. There's only 3 missing.
Let's see. Yeah, Ward 4 is almost all in. 4-1. Brian LaPierre, 41. Hong Net, 31. Brian Field, 14. Nicole McLean, 39. Marvin, 29. Jose, 47. And Buzzy Barton, 25. A little bit of a spread there. Again, 4-2. Brian LaPierre, 45. Hong Net, 46. Brian Field, 21. Nicole McLean, 53. Marvin Hippolyte, 18. Jose Encarnacion, 50. Buzzy Barton, 30. 4-4. Brian LaPierre, 118. Hong Net, 155. Brian Field, 91. Nicole McLean, 117. Marvin, 65. Jose Encarnacion, 95. And Buzzy Barton, 141.
So based on just looking at Ward 4, candidates of color, both in the mayor's race and at large, are faring very
Faring
well there.
quite well.
Very well there.
They should all feel good about that.
All right,
Excellent.
let us go down
Shift a little bit.
to school committee.
That's a long list, Dan. So
Just to get all
I'm
the
just
city,
doing the mayor's race. I can't.
just to get all the
that's a lot
city,
of moving parts.
just to get all the city-wide
Yeah.
ones done. In Ward 1, Precinct 1, Tiffany Magnolia, 185, Sandra Lopez, 144, Daniel Richard, 182, Donna Capola, 336, Lennon Pena, 184, Lorraine Gately, 406, Eric Dugan, 276, Pusan Ung, 117. And now for Ward 4 and 4-1, it is Magnolia, 30, Lopez, 33, Richard, 21, Capola, 40, Castellanos, 30, Pena, 52, Gately, 21, Dugan, 12, Ung, 22, and in 2, it's Magnolia, 42, Lopez, 44, Richard, 27, Capola, 48, Castellanos, 36, Pena, 52, Gately, 19, Dugan, 18, and Ung, 24. In 4-4, it is Magnolia, 107, Lopez, 122, Richard, 24, 159 for Capola, Castellanos, 108, Pena, 102, Gately, 129, Dugan, 58, Ung, 63, and I believe for the citywide, that's all she wrote.
How about
That's
Ward
so far.
4? Do they have the Ward 4
Yes, we
race?
do.
Oh, here we go.
All
This
right.
is going to be pretty. This will be pretty conclusive.
All right,
because-
right now, overall, Colucci leads 305 to 230. Broken down into 3 of the 4 precincts, that is 42 for Colucci in 4-1 to 52 for Madry. In 4-2, it was 75 for Colucci, 55 for Nadri. And then in 4-4, it was 138 for Colucci, 123 for Nadri.
188 Colucci.
188
Oh. I was
Colucci.
going to say that's very close in Ward 4.
188 to
precinct 4. That's his whole
123.
So
precinct.
we're waiting for
4-3.
4-3.
So thus far, what are the totals thus far then? I could do the math. but-
305 for Colucci, 230 for Madry.
Yes.
But both of them.
Oh, we have some
Yeah,
more numbers
but
coming
I
up for the
think-
mayor's race.
Oh, we do?
Great.
They're talking to me in this
Oh,
magic ear.
3-3.
I feel like I'm in.
We have 3-3 in.
3-3.
We're going to bring up some numbers right now.
And that is in 3-3, Satterwhite 96, Sear 163, Nicholson 110.
So far, Nicholson is ahead.
And that was in which ward?
3-3.
3-3.
Oh, I missed those numbers again.
96.
96 for Satterwhite, 163 for Sear, and 110 for Nicholson.
Okay.
And as of right now, Nicholson is number 1 at 640.
640.
And Sear is number 2 with 574.
Close race.
Satterwhite
Close.
third,
There's
411.
still a lot of, there's still a lot of information that we need. A
lot of
lot of
roads to
data
cover.
out there.
Yeah.
We want to see the council race for 3, and it is
so
it is
exciting.
very, very close, within 2
Very
votes.
exciting.
Coco
221.
221 to
My
pronounce it.
George
Mateus,
Mateus.
My
119.
Mateus, 19. That's a tough one to get my
Yeah.
tongue around.
Is it broken down by, do they have a 3, 1, 3, 2, 3, 3, 3, 4?
That's
It's
a
the only one
3-3.
we have is 3-3.
Oh, so 3-3 right now is 221 for Coco and 119 for George Mateus.
Yeah.
That's right.
Oh, I thought that was, wow. Very
That
close.
is, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Now, George Mateus' home turf is 3-4. Coco is going to be 3-4, 3-3.
He's right across, you said, from
I
Jared,
think
right?
I think that he is still 3-4 at that point. So
All
they
right.
both share a home precinct.
Now, as far as, we got 3-2 coming in.
Oh,
Ooh,
Let's
on the
just
ward
wait.
race?
let's wait on
For everything,
at large.
everything,
Oh,
everything.
great.
This is like Christmas for nerds. I love it
So
today.
excited.
I know.
So excited.
It's like the Jerry, I call it like
Love
the
it.
Jerry Lewis telethon. We should have a drum roll or something, you know?
Oh, I have my little air thong. Oh, we just have a new donor.
Listen.
Okay, so what do we have
Let's
for 3?
go for 3-3, starting from the top.
Mayor race.
For the mayor.
I thought we
had-
did 3-3.
No, 3-2, excuse me.
Okay.
I beg your
Yeah.
pardon. 83 for Satterwhite, 120 for Sear, 81 for Nicholson.
That's
That
Darren Sears' home ward.
Yeah.
precinct.
Yeah.
That would put, it still has
Wow, it's
Nicholson
still tight.
up top.
Yeah.
721, 694, and then Satterwhite's third with 494. All right, in the at-large with 3-2. Hey, you want to do this?
Do you want me to?
Yeah, it's your turn.
So at large, 3-2, Brian LaPierre, 149, Hong Net, 116, Brian Field, 90, Nicole McLean, 108, Marvin Hippolyte, 57, Jose Encarnacion, 68, and Buzzy Barton, 131.
And totals,
And the totals, well, I'm going to read the totals. I think those are
Those are-
really strong.
yes.
Brian LaPierre total as of now is 899. Hong Net 857. Brian Field 767. Nicole McLean 625. Marvin Hippolyte 294. Jose Encarnacion 423, and Buzzy Barton 855.
Sounds
This
like the
is-
four it's
this-
going to be
the-
close.
the four
for that
incumbents
four,
with
but it's people going. It seems like they're going to that
There's
four
still a
incumbents.
lot of data out there,
Nicole
so let's
McLean
see
seems to
how
be doing very well.
Nicole McLean is doing
Yes.
quite well.
Yeah, she is. She's, we
Yeah,
must
she's
have
doing
somebody
quite
else
well.
coming in because the numbers just changed.
Yeah, yeah.
What do we have here?
Let's
Any
see.
more numbers from Ward 3 for the Coco George
No,
Mateus?
No,
Just,
we're still waiting on 3134.
1, 3,
Yeah,
4.
those have
And what
not
about
come in.
did you do 3-2? Because I have a 3-3.
I did 32.
Oh, what was
3-2
I
and
think you were
3-3.
I was dazed and confused.
dazed and confused.
All right, what was 3-2 again for that race?
3-2 for LaPierre.
Oh no, I'm talking about the ward race. I'm sorry, I'm talking about the Ward 3 race.
Ward 3 race.
We gotta go down, we gotta
gotta
scroll down.
down.
It's right, there it is, right there. That's the
Ward
one.
3 race.
We don't have two
is
yet for
3-3.
that.
We only have 3-3
3-2.
still.
Yes.
Okay, just curious if those numbers had come in. And there is another race in Ward 2 with Elizabeth Figueroa versus incumbent Rick Starboard, but it doesn't seem like any numbers maybe have come
Nothing.
in.
No
For Ward 2.
numbers
two
as
yet.
of now.
No. Somebody's in my ear. And yes, I
This
would
is
like
so
extra
exciting. I think
pepperoni on my
this really
pizza.
demonstrates.
Thank you.
This really demonstrates.
You ask us what we
Oh.
wanted.
It is very fascinating,
very
isn't it? The numbers are different than what you would expect in a, otherwise you'd expect a strong incumbent year.
Yeah. Darren, as of now, some of the results, I'm not sure what has come in since we talked, but Darren and Jared are
Neck and
neck
neck.
and neck right now. 735 for Darren Sear and 794 for Jared Nicholson. But I don't have the information as to what's leading to
I think
what has added to that.
five is now coming in. Maybe they changed the totals on the tote board first and then,
Ward 5 has a number of senior complexes, and I know the
Sure.
SEER campaign targeted, with a lot of their mailings, directly targeted seniors. So
Sure.
that may reflect in these
it
numbers.
doesn't reflect in 5-1 because,
That's Pine Hill.
yeah. that's
It would be
Is that
5-4 would be
That's where I said
Wall Plaza.
Nicholson was very busy in my
Yep.
neighborhood. That's 5-1, and
And
he is very
came
far.
in strong.
Let's give those
He's
numbers.
Came in strong.
How about you give us the 5-1 numbers next?
167 for Jared, 81 for Sear, and I can't read that.
64 for Satterwhite.
For
Okay.
Satterwhite, yes. 5-1. You can read if you want. The at-large is
Sure.
is in full
Sure.
5-1.
The at-large 5-1, LaPierre 147, Hung Net 155, Brian Field 160, Nicole McLean 76, Marvin Hippolyte 85, Jose Encarnacion 60, Buzzy Barton 137, and these are all the at-large
Yeah.
at this time.
Well, it is fairly interesting. If these numbers hold true, it looks like as of now, of course, it's way too early to tell, especially with Ward 1 not coming all in,
Yeah.
that being Michael Satterwhite's home ward, and 2-1 had a tremendous turnout as well comparatively across the city. It looks like it's Jared Nicholson and Darren Sear running that 1-2. Who knows what order that'll be?
Yes.
Satterwhite seems to be in that third place, but
Yes.
again,
That
any
could
one of
change.
these wards, any one of these
Absolutely.
precincts can come in and totally
Absolutely.
flip this race upside
Agreed.
down.
Agreed.
Very interested in what happens from here on out at large. I mean, you got the 4 incumbents, 1 through 4, but Nicole's right there.
Nicole is right there, right?
Yeah,
She
she is right
is
there.
right there. It's
to
too
her
early
credit,
to say,
She's
but
worked
she
very
is
hard.
right there.
She is. She's the only woman in the race. She does have some training with. I know she's gone through a program called Emerge, which is a political training program for women that help them learn how to organize, campaign, raise money. And they've been tremendously successful throughout the Commonwealth.
Absolutely.
Raising candidates at both the local and state and federal level, and coming up with some impressive wins as well. So she was going to be a tough campaigner. And so it's what this shows, and I know we go back to door knocking, if you campaign and you work hard, it translates into votes.
Yeah.
She worked very hard.
Yeah.
What do we got here? We got 5.
Any numbers that we can
haven't-
put back up on the screen that folks can take a look at? Because although
Oh, we got
Yeah.
3-1 coming in,
looking
because
at
I know
us.
the numbers just changed on the tote board.
they want to see some figures.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Oh, you don't have the
This
problem.
is
Oh, should I preface
exciting.
this by saying that these numbers are being provided to us from volunteers for Lynn Community Television. They are at the polls, typically for folks who haven't hung out at the end of the day. Every machine spits out a receipt, much like you'd get at a dollar store or something. You get a receipt, and it has all supermarket. But we have a lot of dollar stores, and my kids love dollar stores. And it has itemized every campaign and every candidate and how they're doing with numbers. So they post that right on a wall, so everyone can see it. Obviously, especially in Lynn, we care about fair elections, so it's right there. So we're using a lot of volunteers at certain locations to give us some of those numbers. So they aren't official numbers, but they're from the machine.
Correct.
So they're as official as you can get. Of course, the real numbers will come from the city of Lynn.
Yeah.
Elections office, and right now all those ballots are being escorted by Lynn police and election officers to City Hall, where they'll start to go through the numbers, and they'll start posting them as well on their
Shortly, probably.
website shortly
Yeah.
shortly as they come in.
And just to add that these volunteers, they're sending it to us by taking a picture on their cell phone and sending it to
So that's
Lynn
interesting.
Community Television.
So that's interesting, because I have been scolded before by election officials for taking a picture of the receipt with my cell phone. So I apologize, but I did do it. So hopefully we get, but the old school pen and paper, everyone kind of crowds around them from the campaigns, and they're all
That's how
looking
some
and
of
they're
us are
writing down.
getting
They
it.
still
So we
do
have
that
to-
in
They still do
Marblehead.
it. We still
The
do
guy
it,
has a
man.
blackboard in Marblehead, and he just,
Well, some precincts won't let you do it, so you have to do it old school like that,
Yeah.
and then you get the initial like, oh, some people are like, yes, yes, and other are not happy. So,
well, while you were doing all that talking,
We
Yep.
have
we have Ward
updated
3
results,
Precinct
which is
1 results.
do a little
oh,
scat.
this is
And this is just
Just
becoming,
fascinating.
yeah, very fascinating. I mean, these numbers are changing on the fly here, but let's see, 3-1.
Is this for which candidate?
Mayor. We're
For
gonna go
mayor,
mayor.
3-1. Here are the numbers, unofficial.
Nicholson, 141. Sear, 164. And Satterwhite, 89. Now,
So that's all Ward 3, except for Ward 3, Precinct 4,
Yeah.
which had a good turnout. As of the numbers in 3-4, they were out almost, they were doing better than they normally do.
We have,
We have-
3-4 numbers for mayor,
For mayor, let's hit it.
right?
oh yeah, they just
Right?
came in.
They just came in.
87 for Satterwhite, 111 for Sear, 164 for Nicholson. He is, right now, has almost a 300 vote lead totally over Sear, with Satterwhite third with 12-14. Sear has 14-25. Nicholson 17-12.
I'm just tallying up Ward 3.
We also have, we did 5 already, 5-1. We have 6-1, and we seem to have all of 7 for mayor. So anytime you're ready, Mr. Cahill.
Yes.
Well, it's interesting. The reason why I'm telling you Ward 3 is clearly there's 2 candidates out of Ward 3, and Darren Sears is a sitting ward council out of Ward 3. And I have a rough estimate here that in Ward 3, it looks like Jared Nicholson is at 496, Darren Sears at 458, and Satterwhite's at 364. So I think that is that's surprising in that Darren Sears
Didn't do better.
has represented that ward for many years. But what are the new numbers?
All right, let's start here with
the numbers are
Tiffany
coming in.
reading Ward 7, because the mayor, it's all...
This is
all
our first
four-
real West Lynn numbers,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
We've heard a lot from East Lynn, but let's hear from our friends in West Lynn.
Well, we had Ward 5 that in Pine Hill. That's
Oh,
West
yeah, that's
Lynn.
West Lynn. That is West
But
Lynn.
we have all 4 wards in Ward 7. Go get them.
And this is for
All
mayor's
right,
race.
for
Mayor,
mayor's
yeah.
race.
Okay.
Satterwhite, 143.
We're starting with 7-1.
7-1.
143. Sorry, I apologize.
No worries. Sear, 123. Nicholson, 170. 7-2. Satterwhite, 107. Sear, 100. Nicholson, 135. 7-3. Satterwhite, 57. Sear, 66. And Nicholson, 61. 7-4. Those numbers look low for that precinct. But, Satterwhite, 93. Nicholson, sorry.
Sear.
Satterwhite, 93. Sear, 45. Nicholson, 80.
Interesting.
We
Right.
also had 4-3 come in. 4-3 is coming in.
Oh, good, because
It's
that's our...
coming in, it's
that's
coming
for,
in,
you want,
coming
let's do
in.
Ward 4. Does you have the Ward 4 council race for... Because that's the last one we have, and that's going to decide.
Yeah,
That'll tell us, again,
coming
unofficial.
in.
But it'll tell us.
Well, 4-3.
It's coming in.
Well, it really doesn't. I mean, it only matters for positioning, I suppose. They're both going to be.
Oh, both are... Yeah, everyone's going on to the
Yeah.
final. In fact, the
That's why the at-large race excites me, because there are more candidates than there are positions. But anyway, let's start with 4-3 here.
Do you want me to, the
Oh,
Councilor at large?
You do it, no, look at the mayor. Let's go right down the line, starting with mayor. Because we didn't do this one right here, 4-3.
I think we've done 4-1, 4-2, and 4-4
Yeah,
with
we got
respect to the
4-3
mayor's
in
race.
So
Yeah.
let's do 4-3 mayor's race.
Yeah.
4-3 Satterwhite, 72. Sear, 45. Nicholson, 74.
All right, so I'll tally up Ward 4 for the mayor.
If I may interject while you
Please.
are tallying,
This is
it looks to me on early going, and I hope, I don't want to
Amazing.
get a phone
Amazing.
call
It's
from
going
him
up.
if I
Yeah.
jinx him and it all goes south.
Well, this
But
is-
it looks like Nicholson's running strong throughout the city.
He is so strong.
He
so
just
strong.
there hasn't been a let up in any area for him so far.
It's been quite strong. Quite interesting. And yes, it only says that he is moving to the next level strongly.
Well,
but,
I just don't want it to all of
the
a sudden
final election
flip.
will
I
be
mean,
the final.
Many people have
but
won the primary.
Yeah.
Exactly.
lost.
But
Exactly.
Jared, I just want you to know, if
So-
you're watching, Do not call me up and claim I jinxed you if everything
Yeah.
goes wrong from here on out.
So what's interesting about Ward 4 is my numbers show that Mike Satterwhite took Ward 4 with 278, Nicholson 263, and Darren Sear at 197. I'm going to do it again. I've been known
Well, yeah,
to mix up my math, which led to the great deficit of Lynn in 2000.
Satterwhite was very strong in 4-1 and 4-2.
4-2.
Yeah. Satterwhite took Ward 4.
And then 4-3
3.
Nicholson took it by 2 votes
Yeah,
over
so-
Satterwhite.
How's Ward 4 Precinct 3 for the Ward 4 City Council?
Let's go down. Let's go down and look here.
Ward.
Because this is the nail biter. They're within 75 votes of each other, up to 4-3. And
Okay, we are. Maggie is number 1 and Colucci is number 2.
That's the final right
That's
now.
the final right now, yeah.
So it flipped.
so tell me the numbers for 4-3. I'm curious if you have.
4-3.
4-3.
Colucci 105.
Yeah?
Natasha 283.
Yep,
Yeah,
that's
she-
the number that put her over the edge.
That's it.
She whooped them there, and it's 513 to 410 total.
513 to 410. Oh, I cannot wait to hear from her the analysis, what she did to.
How
Well,
long
you know,
is
she's been at it for a while. She has been
this is her third-
campaigning.
Was
she's
this her
also-
second or third
Oh,
race?
This is her
Remember,
third
she ran
This
race.
is her third
She ran for
race.
school committee as well, I
Yeah.
believe. So she
Yeah.
has.
So
How long has Richard
worked at this.
Colucci
He's the longest
been on
serving
it?
city
Yeah.
councilor. I believe
Oh,
he
it's
started
many
in 1993 was his first election,
Yeah,
maybe
yeah, I
91.
remember the
There was a
number.
brief period of he lost one election, so there was a brief break. But I think the first election was 93.
Yeah.
I think he ran against Tim Phelan in 1993 for that seat.
Who beat him? Do you remember?
Rich won. Oh, it was, Rich knows. He tells me about it. It was somebody who had someone had a one term.
Yeah.
In between, then Rich came back. But I think so. It's almost been 30 years.
I still see his brother and think it's him.
Well, it's nice to have two candidates
Yeah.
that look alike, even though only one of them is on the ballot.
Yeah.
this is going to be quite interesting.
So it's interesting to see what happens in the Ward 3 race too. Do we have
Yeah.
any numbers for Ward 3? Any updated numbers for those?
We don't have.
do not
Let's see what we got. We got to go back this way. Oh, we got them all
We
here.
have them all.
Oh, I just
So-
got a text. Colucci won in 1991. I want to thank.
1991.
I
Thank
want
you.
to thank Jim
Fact checker.
Cowdell. Jim Cowdell, thank you very
Nice.
much.
All-knowing Jim Cowdell.
That's right. That's right.
Tell him I'll collect my money.
Tell me. Well,
So let's do.
there might be a discrepancy. I'm getting text from the Colucci camp that says maybe there's a question about those numbers, but we'll see.
Okay.
If they are, they'll change
Yeah.
and we'll report 'em.
Again, our numbers are coming in through
Double
all of
check.
these sources. They are not final, but
Yeah, I'm being told to double check my
what?
numbers.
they are not final.
Well, whether it's final or not, Coco 866
To-
George Memeteus. Did I get it right?
475. Yes, you did.
475.
Wait. I'm sorry. I was engrossed in people yelling at me on my Twitter. Bob Cipolliti, that's who we lost to. Thank you, Brian Lapierre, for letting me know.
Nice, Bob Cipolliti.
But back to Ward 3, because if people want to know.
All right. Memeteus 475. Coco Alsonen 866.
That's the
Is that all
total.
four
That's the
precincts
total.
coming in?
For Ward
Everything-
3,
everything-
yes.
Yes,
Everything's
everything's
coming.
in.
Oh, okay. So it's 866 to 475?
Yes.
Correct.
Okay.
Do you want to?
You want to count?
I would like a count. 31323334,
All right.
because I'm sure
You
people.
go.
3-1. Coco 227.
27? 227?
227.
Oh, great show. 227.
Mateus 155.
Tell you what?
Ward 32.
155 for him.
166. George Mateus 106. 33. Coco 221. George 119. 34. 252. George 95.
That's interesting, because George lives in Ward 3, Precinct 4, and I believe so does Coco. So that was an interesting.
I think it's
battle.
I think it's the effort in the campaign, the visibility. Coco was everywhere, even though
Coco's been everywhere, I feel like,
he was running in his own ward.
for a
He
long
was
time. And I
across
love
the
it.
city.
She's got great signs.
Beautiful
the color,
signs.
The
Oh,
color
the
is very
signs
modern.
were-
But
so
George,
does-
So
were
does
great.
George.
but George has been around for a while. He's a hard work
I was
campaigner.
just going to say, he worked hard.
And he's run
Yeah.
once before
Yes,
against
I
Darren
think
Sear.
one time
Yep.
before.
And,
Right.
and he stays competitive.
Yeah.
He's got
And
another
George
shot.
goes around to everything too. I mean, that's what's great about a lot of these candidates.
These
You get to meet
people
them.
have come in second this time have to have some sense of what they have to work on in order to flip the numbers
Yes.
for the
Yep.
final.
And in the areas.
Yes.
And if you look, it's always interesting because you associate wards with socioeconomics and East Lynn, West Lynn, and things like that. So you can really start to deep dive into the numbers, and it's always different. I feel like every election.
Let's take a look at, we haven't taken a look at the school committee for a while
And if we
here.
get some new numbers on the Ward 4 race, just so people stop freaking out.
Let's see.
let's
Ward
see.
four.
So far,
If any campaign happens to have that,
So far, they have not changed.
No,
from
Peter
where we
Capano
read them.
chimed in that Bob Cipollone was a popular guy, I guess.
Yeah. Nothing new on Ward 4. Yeah.
All right, let's look at these school committee numbers, and let's take the overall view first. Tiffany Magnolia, 1455. Sandra Lopez, 1304. Daniel Richard, 877.
977.
Just 100 votes. Just rounding it.
We're a team here.
I'm like the
977.
center fielder that looks at his glove after he misses the ball, you know? I think I'll take these off. I probably read it better.
Oh, boy.
Donna Capola, 2005.
Is my prediction coming through?
Yeah, she
True?
is right now on top of the ticket,
That's
yes.
right.
Brian Castellano, 1641. Lennon Pena, 1456. Very strong showing for him.
Wow.
Lorraine Gately, 1881. Very strong showing for her.
Good year.
Eric Dugan, 1132. Posan Ung, 874.
Yeah. Families are interested in the school committee race. I think
Yeah.
those are
It'd be
terrific
nice if they
numbers.
could put-
That's so great.
Oh, I got something coming in, yes.
That's so great. People are
again?
interested in who's representing them in the
Oh,
school
Coco's
committee.
on the line? Oh, well, guess what? We have our first special guest.
That's yours.
Coco, are you on the line? Can you hear us?
Yes, we can hear you.
Coco Allison, congratulations. It looks like the numbers, although unofficial, that you may have more official numbers than we do, looks like you are going to be on top of this primary. What do you think?
Thank you so much. This is not
I
my
can't
win.
hear
My
you.
win. This is a win from
I can't
my
hear
team. I would like to
I can only
thank
hear
all
him
of
from
them.
out there.
We worked so hard. We've knocked thousands of doors. We talked to hundreds of people. It's not only me, but a lot of my team. I would like to thank them from the bottom of my heart. I love you guys. Councillor Hogan is here in my house. My husband Peter has been working very hard, and all the team, all my neighbors, all from Ward 3. It's just an amazing moment. This is my first run. I know there's a finals to go. We will be working double hard as if we're knocking doors tomorrow. If that means we have to continue that momentum.
Well, what's the big issues in Ward 3 that you have found by knocking on your neighbors' doors and talking to voters?
Say that again. I'm sorry. It's so loud here. There's a lot of people here.
Oh, what's the big issue in Ward 3 right now?
So, I was asked this question when we had several forums, and when you go from every precinct, there's minimal and minute issues, the typical issues that people are talking about, like trash and signs and the traffic light problem. But the main issue really is the King's Speech and the smell, and that's something that we need to really sit down. I know I've mentioned this, that we don't have to reinvent the wheel because there have been task force already created, and so I just want to double check and see where we need to pick up and continue that conversation.
Coco, where's the party tonight? Where are you? If people want to show up at your house.
So I'm really, so we just got back from Thurgood Marshall, and my neighbors on Merrill Street, oh my gosh, they were shouting here. The moment I pulled over my driveway, there's already a cake, pizza, chicken wings, and and they came prepared, and it was just so surprised. I don't know if it's Peter who made this, but it's just I just feel the love. I'm sorry, I'm so speechless, but I just feel the love. It's just one of the most amazing moments in my life, and I'm sure I wish my parents are here and my family are here to experience that. And I think I will call them after this, but I just wish they're here to celebrate with me. I know we have a lot of big things to do. But
Coco, it's so appropriate to cry. You have worked really hard. Your love for the city is palpable. Congratulations, and we have to make this happen again in November. So
we will. I mean, I just love you guys. I love you so much. I mean, my family is away, but I created new families here, an extended family, my Ward 3 family, my neighbors. I just love you, and we will do this together. Okay, it's not Coco's thing. Again, shout out to Councilor Hogan, who came here all the way and just give me that support, and of course to my husband Peter and everybody. Thank
You got it. Now, correct me. Are you at 20 or 22 Merrill?
Say that again.
What's your address?
I'm 18 Merrill Ave.
Sent everybody to the wrong house, Dan.
People's address. All right, so 18 Merrill, if you want to
We
go
don't have
celebrate.
money to rent a restaurant.
BYOB though, folks. This isn't.
What's on the What's
is
on the menu, Coco?
you put your.
We made sure we ordered food from Ward 3 establishments. That's what they
Oh,
said.
look at him. He does it right. He's doing it
Giovanni.
right.
Hey,
He's
man.
doing it right.
All right, well, congratulations.
Coco.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
All right.
See if anything's coming in the meantime here.
It's always exciting when your first campaign, like the first election, even though it's the primary, you see those numbers coming in and you feel like
someone was listening.
Yes.
And you feel a huge, tremendous rush.
Yes.
Only outdone
12,
by a general election, a
13,
final
14.
election, getting those numbers in. I don't remember too much of my lifetime. A lot of it's
Yeah.
a blur. But I do remember when the numbers came in 2003, my first school committee race. I was with Diane Guhuli, back steps to City Hall, and it's just so
So
exciting.
exciting. Great.
Very exciting. So
Great.
congratulations to Coco. And George Mateus, he's going to keep, he's going to come out
He
fighting
has
on
a
this
place
one.
in the city,
And
absolutely.
he's got a lot of support, and he's going to work
He's got
tirelessly.
an election
Yeah.
to work on
Yeah,
flipping.
absolutely.
If we can get some
12,
numbers back on Ward 4.
13 is 5, 14 is 6.
5 and 6
Oh.
are coming in quite slowly.
I get some 4 numbers here. What's 4, 1?
We
I
have
think
4.
we have 4.
Yeah, but it seems like maybe there's some questions about 4.
I
so
understand. Let's see.
What's strange, there they are. All right. 4 for 7, 5, 1 for 6, 1
5,
for
6, and
5,
7 are
4 for
really
4,
slow.
4 for 3,
hold on.
4 for 2, and 1 for 1. So how does that, what's that make?
55.
Because there are,
I don't know
there are
what you
20,
were-
well, there were 21 precincts,
52.
7 times 4. Look at how many precincts that are in.
That one's in.
1 for 4, 1 for 1, 4 for 2, that's 5. 4 for 3, that's 9.
So far we're
4
doing
for
right.
4, that's 13, 14, 15, and 4 are,
We got to check on Ward. The only one I don't. So all the numbers I have checked out, except I don't have one.
19.
I want to confirm Ward 4 Precinct 3
Yeah,
because the other ones are all kind of checking
Ward-
out from the. I'm looking
With,
directly at the
Ward
slips here.
4, precinct 3, mayor's race. Is that what you want
No,
to
no,
confirm?
the
Ward 4
council
race.
race.
So far we.
Council race.
So far
Yeah.
we're okay, but some
Yeah.
folks are saying no, your numbers may be wrong on Ward 4, but I don't know.
Well, the only thing I can say is if they are, we'll figure it out and make them correct, but right now, this is all we have.
This is what we have.
Go down. All right, that's 3. Oh, we got Ward 1, another Ward 1 coming in.
Yeah.
Ward
1,
1,
3
3.
coming in.
Yeah, anyway, to get
Ward
to,
1, go ahead.
to get to his numbers, what he's looking for here
It's okay.
is
How we doing the mayor's race?
we are still 513 to
513.
410.
It hasn't changed
Hasn't
since
changed.
we
Yeah, I
reported
know.
it to you.
Unless 4-3 is different, I don't see it changing because the
With
other numbers are confirmed. I'm looking at the
20
slips.
with
They confirm.
Yeah. It hasn't changed since for 10, 15,
No,
20
and like I said, somebody had
Yeah.
texted me the slips. I'm looking directly at the
Yeah.
numbers, directly that kept spit out from the machines. but the only one I don't have is 4-3.
Looks like with 20 of 28 precincts in for mayoral, Nicholson is 2386, Sayre 2040, Satterwhite 1736. This kind of surprises me. I really seen Satterwhite being 1 or 2. I didn't. He's not that he's terribly behind, but time's running out. And with all these precincts starting to report. Again, I'm really impressed with Jared Nicholson.
Jared's numbers are strong.
All throughout the city, except for maybe a couple of spots in 4 where, where Satterwhite carried them. But beyond that, he's done very, very well. Sayre obviously is, all he needs to do is finish second. He doesn't have to, and he's on the ballot.
Okay.
That's right.
All right, so then someone just sent me a Facebook from Natasha saying that she had 335 to 388. Now, we'll work on that number. We'll work on that Ward 4. It's coming up, but let's see. We have some projections. Yeah, so some folks are sending me some unofficial numbers that appear to be from either a camp or City Hall. I'm not going to just disclose that yet, but it seems like it's close in the second and third, for second and third of the mayor's race. It seems like it's going to be a close finish in the end on that one.
Well, let's see what we got so far. We have, it's 200. It's estimated about 250 votes separate
Yeah.
Satterwhite from Sayre.
Yep.
Yeah.
But Jared seems to be, looks from this point, seems to be pulling
He
away.
seems
on
to be
the
about
top spot.
600 votes.
Yeah.
Roughly. Which the prediction on a lot of folks, at least political folks, thought there would be around a 7,000 vote total, and if these are accurate, we're looking at what's that?
No, right now, you got
4, 5,
close to
6,
6 in the
7.
mayoral race now.
We're up to like 8.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've confirmed with 2 people. Here's the numbers that are coming in from multiple sources is that Jared Nicholson is going to have 3,220
Wow.
votes. Darren Sear will have 2,593 votes. And Michael Satterwhite will have 2,286 votes. So very close
Big
there.
change again.
Yeah.
Very
You get
close.
numbers at the-
Our numbers are
the
updating as
total
well,
is
but not to the
changing.
totals you just
Yeah,
articulated.
we're just going to have to wait.
Yep, these are unofficial, but they've been texted to me by 3 or 4 different
Yeah.
people, which, and they're all identical. So either somebody out there is sending everything to the same number to everybody, which
I
please
think
don't.
one of the issues we're having is some of the numbers are coming in slow.
So that happens. And
Right.
that's because every ward is different, every
different, they
precinct's
run
different.
different.
Obviously,
That's
when you're
exactly
talking
right.
about,
That's
some
exactly
precincts that
right.
are lower turnouts versus higher turnouts, it's just different.
Correct.
I don't know how this works, but I'm wondering with such disparity in numbers in Ward 4, whether there's any way we can get in touch with that person that phoned them into us to see whether you might have-
Okay, so here is the
think
issue,
we're-
folks. Here's the issue in Ward 4. There was stated that in Ward 4, Precinct 3,
Yeah.
that Colucci got 105 and Natasha got 280. She got 83. So that's a 200-point swing.
Oh,
That's a 200-point swing. So thank you very much for someone who sent me that. It's not
Not
283, it's 83. Okay, so that dramatically changes the numbers by
Sure
200.
does.
So now we're down to 313. Okay, so that makes that's okay, but
That's-
still a very competitive. That's why we say it's unofficial, and that's okay. But we have people trying; they're working their best. And I want to
Yes.
thank the person who
And
sent.
we-
we'll have our
looked a little
folks clean that.
outlied to me that number there. I just,
Oh yeah, and then the third person, fifth person, everyone's pretty much texting the same numbers as far as the mayor's final races.
Right.
So I
Yeah.
think we're waiting for the clerk's office to finalize that. But it looks like
Right.
Jared Nicholson will be on top, and then followed by Darren Sear and
Sear.
Michael Satterwhite, which would lead us to a final between Jared Nicholson and Darren Sear. So if that's the
I'm
final,
stunned.
Wow.
what
stunned.
happens now? We have Michael Satterwhite, presumably, hypothetically, if he doesn't make it. Of course, that's not final. If one of these,
Right.
if one of these candidates should fall
Yes.
out, what happens next? What's the conventional wisdom? Where do we see votes going, or is it too early to tell?
I don't know. I'm still trying to absorb this because I thought Satterwhite was going to be one of the 2 finalists. I wasn't going to say
And he could
it.
be, and he
Yeah,
could be, and he's very close
Yeah.
to an incumbent on the
Right.
council. The other two
You're
folks on the
right.
school
It's not,
committee.
it's
so-
not that far off, but
And also, what's interesting is that I've been on citywide ballots before. Being on a citywide ballot versus a ward ballot, it's different.
Mm-hmm.
And it's because a lot of folks in Ward 7 may not be paying attention to Ward 1
That's
and
exactly right.
Ward 2. So although you are on the council, sometimes it's just as hard to get your name out there citywide. And you get Jared Nicholson and Mike Satterwhite, they've been on a citywide ballot
Yeah.
for several elections now.
Yes.
And that takes its toll. People sometimes
No,
you want-
Sear
not everyone
was-
pays attention to these races, and they
Sears-
go in
well,
and identify.
his name was in the paper an awful lot for a
As
lot
council
of different
president,
reasons.
he has
Yes.
increased his profile immensely.
And,
Yes.
and he, you know, he had the battle with the Black Lives Matter mural, and you know,
Which did get done.
yeah,
which was
it
done.
did get done. Yeah.
But there are obviously when you're on the council versus school committee, different issues. I will tell you, you make fewer friends on the council than you do in the school committee. In the
Yeah.
school committee, you get to go
Yes.
to, you have children come and
Yeah.
they present
Yeah.
things to you. You go to graduations. It's more happy. City council, it's different.
You gotta tackle. You gotta tackle some
issues.
Yeah.
But you know, I think that this. I'll love to see how the numbers may break down, but you have a lot of diversity in these votes, I think, and the issues. I mean, we talked about the housing being a priority issue, and it would be interesting to see how much that was a driver in some of the final
Yep.
decisions people made here. Because Darren's been around for a long time. He is a strong city councilor.
Yes.
So I think it really is the relevance of the issues right
And
now
I think
that we're talking
I think
about.
that Darren, he's got Lynn. He's got Lynn at heart. You
there's
know.
no question about
no
that.
question.
And you know, I know that the housing package there. I understand where he's coming from. I really do. You know, when that Monroe Street was constructed, I believe it started in 2018, maybe. And I remember the people united. What's the name of that?
Lynn United for Change.
Lynn, with Isaac Hodes. I remember every day they were out there protesting. And there's an awful lot of food for thought about that development and all of its ramifications. And there are some pretty good arguments all the way around for that.
Well,
You know, I think that's a big one. I think that a lot of the conversation you brought up, Black Lives Matter, I think the issue of inclusivity in our city is something that I think has resonated with people. That's another area of a current issue for our city. And the relevance of our city and moving forward and being modern. Those are the quiet issues that have moved, I think, a lot of these votes, and we'll see where they land in November.
and I just, whoever becomes the mayor and the city council and the school committee, we're facing a real transformative moment in the
That's
city.
exactly.
Yes.
Not just because of the makeup of the city and how it's changing in our economics, but you're looking at Mayor McGee, to his credit, and we do want to thank Tom McGee for his years of service, because we have now I almost fell on my chair when I saw this, I didn't believe it, upwards of a $28 million rainy day fund in Lynn, where before we had less than $28 forever. In our healthcare trust fund, there's, I believe, excess of $6 to $9 million, where before there was not $6 or $9 in there. And so, coupled with the health of the city, its bond rating, and the fact that there's ARPA money, Lynn's slated to get $80 million from the COVID relief, and that's not even after the legislature's going to dole out $4.5 billion worth of aid. The next mayor could have at his fingertips the ability to just do once-in-a-lifetime projects in the
Transformative
city
projects,
of Lynn.
that's right.
Also, don't forget that Lynn is back on the clock for the master MBUA, aren't they?
Yep, the Mass School Building
MSBA.
Authority,
MSBA, yeah.
for the new Pickering.
For the new
Yes.
Pickering,
And
right?
behind that, Tracy and a number of other schools that need to be
Yes.
addressed. And that just...
Which is a priority issue for Darren Sear.
Oh, it's a priority issue. It should be a
Period.
priority issue for everyone in the city.
But
Yeah, I mean,
certainly he's
I'm
campaigning
staring
on
at
that.
schools and where kids are going to go, and I mean, Pickering is where my area is, and
How
my
old
mother
are-
went to that school in the
How old-
60s,
How
and it
old
was
are your
in tough
kids
shape.
now, Dan?
10 and 7. 10
Yeah,
and 7.
Pickering's right around the corner.
Right around the corner, and you know,
Yeah.
it should have been rebuilt many years ago. But
Yes.
whatever, it is what it is.
Hey, they couldn't
We're
get
ahead
it-
of schedule. I'm
They
told.
couldn't get it done in Swampscott the first
Nope.
time that they had the chance,
I was
so.
very encouraged. Dr. Tutwiler and I had a little private conversation recently. I said, hey, you know, Doc, what's going on at the school? Am I going to have in time ready for the kids? And he said, we're ahead of schedule.
Oh,
But he
nice.
didn't
That's
say he was going to be
encouraging.
ready in time
That's
for my kids, but I hope it's in time for
the
some
youngest,
kids.
maybe the youngest one.
Maybe, as long as kids, as long as all the kids in the city of Lynn have an opportunity to go to a quality school. My wife teaches at Thurgood Marshall. It's phenomenal. It's gorgeous, and the kids are doing great. And the
That's
teachers
where
are
I
great.
went to school before it was
I was the last
went to
grad.
Thurgood
I was the
You
last
went to-
graduate
you
in
went to
class.
Eastern Junior
I went to
High.
our last graduating class at Eastern Junior High right here.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah? Wow.
Yep. I remember the sign coming down.
You're
Thurgood Marshall
young.
going up. Yeah, I'm young.
You're
Yeah,
young.
right. Kids look at me like I'm
Hello.
You're young. I'm old.
ancient. So we have a couple of minutes left. I don't know what time this party ends, but I know that the party at Coco's house apparently is not going to end. So we'll be there maybe
Well, let's see
next.
what we got here. We have,
We have a couple of minutes left if we want to kind of round this
We
up.
want to-
What about
Do
Councilor
we have
Large
all of them? We
semifinals?
still have some outstanding
we're missing
ward
Ward,
precincts.
we're missing
These are-
almost all of Ward 6.
How about Ward 2?
Ward
There's a Ward 2
2.
race.
Yeah, and now that's all in, and
Okay.
it is 736 for Rick Stobbard, 367 for...
87.
387.
387 for Elizabeth Figueroa.
You gotta make this type bigger on
I
you.
know.
I know. Boy, we're going to get in
just
trouble with
wanna
that.
make sure
So
that-
736 for Rick Starboard, 387 for Elizabeth Figueroa.
Yes.
So that's,
You know what? I got to tell you, Rick Starboard, very popular. I live in Ward 2. He's a
Yes.
very popular counselor.
Yes.
And my hat's off to Elizabeth Figueroa, first-time candidate, doing a nice job.
yeah, it's less,
absolutely.
it's less than 2
Ward
to 1.
races are incredibly tough. It's a one-on-one race, unlike, hey, you know, throw me one of your 4s. Oh, we have some numbers up right now. Here we go. So, folks, you can see it there. Although I think the number I think that's incorrect on Ward 4.
Ward
might
4
wanna
needs
think-
to be rechecked.
Yeah, I think it's 410 for Rich Colucci and
313
313.
for Natasha.
330.
Yeah, people want to see the numbers because they're getting mad at me now. They're saying, stop talking, show me the numbers.
Jerry Remy would say the numbers. All right, if you want numbers, let's give them numbers.
Well, I
huh?
think we're trying to pull them up right into
Yeah.
the
I have
projector
Natasha
here.
at 313. I think that's pretty firm because
Yeah.
that's based on what we have
What we
directly
have,
from the
that's
slips. So I trust my
We
numbers
just
on
haven't
that one.
changed it on this.
They have
And we have
not changed
Colucci
it
at
on the
410.
spread.
410 to 1 to 313.
313.
Here we go. All right. What else we got going on here?
We have all the contested council races we have.
But the at-large is going to be interesting because that was coming in fairly close with between
let's see what we
4 and
got.
5 spot.
Let's see what we have here.
And then Ward 1. Is Ward 1 and Ward 2 1 in? Because those are really high number
Ward
precincts.
1,
1,
2
2
is
is
not
not.
in.
1, 2 is still out, and 6 is being filled in now finally.
Okay, we have the corrected numbers in Ward 4. Colucci at 410 and Natasha
313.
Maggie Mandry at 313. Very respectable. Very close race in Ward 4.
Yeah.
We anticipate that being so in the final as well.
Yes.
All right, Ward 6 is being filled in, and the only one we don't have now is Ward 5, Precinct 4. That's not in yet.
And that's for Ward 5?
Yeah.
And nothing yet for the rest of 2. Ooh, do I have something?
2 is
2.
done. 2 is done.
Can you check 1? I think 1, 1,
The
1,
ice
2
is
was the
slippery
one
when
that we
wet.
were looking.
Yeah, where are we here? Yeah, 1, 2 is still not in.
It's still not in.
Yeah.
Are you playing Minecraft? There's a question of whether or not Steve's actually just surfing the web.
I don't
is-
even know what that
He
is.
is updating his his Facebook status. He is not reading numbers.
All right, let's look at this at-large thing. With 1-2 missing, and I think 5-4 missing, and I think all the other ones are being filled in. LaPierre 2766, Hong Net 2580, Brian Field 2164, Nicole McLean 1858, Marvin Hippolyte 1003, Jose Encarnacion 1339, and Buzzy Barton 2521.
Oh, they just changed
Nope.
again.
Yeah,
They just changed.
Just changed this now?
changed.
Like just now? Yeah,
like
for the good or
watching
for
the
the bad?
This is, yeah.
It's like
I
watching
don't know
the
what
numbers
came in.
change.
Okay, so it looks like the 4 incumbents and then Nicole McLean
All
seem
over
to be
on
in that mix.
West Lynn wards, which you have to go take that bar and.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they just changed the minute he finished. Oh, yeah, 6.
Oh.
6 came in, 6-1, 6-2, 5-4 still not in.
Yeah.
They're changing
Changing by
too
the
fast.
minute.
By the minute, folks.
By the
These numbers are
minute.
coming in. It's very
Faster
exciting.
than we
Very
can
exciting.
keep track of
You
them.
know, only on public access, by the way, can we offer you commercial-free viewing. That's right. Not one bit of interruption. We're very happy to do so.
Commercial-free banter.
With donations from viewers like you, we can bring you such quality viewing options here. Oh, are they going to put, oh, look at that, the last day to vote. Don't put that up. Put up where the people could donate. It's time to make some money. People are watching us right now. I guess not. Okay. But last
The
day to register to
telephone bank
vote
is
is coming
over
up,
there.
actually, 1 month from today. And then final election November 2nd.
Mm-hmm.
Are we going to be here November 2nd? Are we going to be invited back?
I might not be, but I don't know.
Steve, you might get invited back. You know, you have a campaign that slips you a couple bucks, and maybe you fudge some of the numbers, and you know, it's Mayor Wrighton. You never know.
No, this was very
yeah.
exciting to be a part of this, as we have talked about the diversity of the candidates
Yeah.
in the campaign.
Yep.
Lynn is on the move, people.
It is.
Lynn is on the
and
move.
it's going to just get heated up. I'll tell you,
Yeah.
there's been a lot of campaign money raised and spent in the mayoral race, and you got to expect that's going to be double.
Yeah.
So you're likely to see $250,000 spent, if not more,
Unbelievable, right?
between the candidates before the year's out, and that's a significant amount of money.
Yeah, yeah.
That is a lot of signs and mailers. So
And work
recycle.
for the campaign, for the candidate.
Yep. Now I'm curious because just a little earlier in Boston's race, they had predicted that Michelle Wu and Anissa George would be the two finalists. So I'm curious if that number has come in as well.
I read someplace that Wu was so far out ahead that she couldn't see the person behind her, right?
That's what they've been projecting,
Yeah.
yes.
All right. Well, let's see what's going
I
on in
don't
the
see what was
mayor's
wrong
race.
with the one they had there. She seemed okay to me.
Oh, wow. Well, I got to tell you, Lynn has it above Boston. Boston.com has reported 0. Thanks a lot, Boston. And there's a lot of
Okay.
changes throughout the Commonwealth because many mayors, I think upwards of a third of the mayors have decided not to run for re-election, and a lot of that is attributed to just COVID and
That's
the,
what I
the
understand
restrictions
as well.
from COVID and having to make a lot of tough decisions and just burnout.
Yes.
So I think you'll see a lot of changes in the Commonwealth, which is also exciting.
Yeah.
See, we haven't seen.
In the school committee, any changes as well?
I'm going to go down there now. I mean, we have changes since the last time we read them because more precincts have come in. Tiffany Magnolia, 1970. Sandra Lopez, 1724. Daniel Richard, 1317. Donna Capola, 2646. Number one
Amazing.
Hey, you heard it here, folks.
Amazing.
First, I predicted that Donna Capola would win
Amazing.
tonight.
number one with a
Oh,
bullet.
it's changed.
Oh,
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 it
gosh.
hasn't changed her position though. The
Nice.
no, her numbers went up.
2779.
2779 for Donna Capola.
Castellanos, 2310. Pena, very good.
Excellent.
2017.
He should be so
What was
proud
it
of
again?
himself.
2017.
2017 for Lenny Pena.
He should be proud.
2598. That is an 8 for
yes.
Lorraine Gately. She should be pretty pleased
Yes.
too. Eric Dugan, 1603. And Posan Ung, 1204.
So based on those numbers, it looks as though we have in the top 6, we have Donna's number 1, We have Lorraine as number 2. We have Brian Castellanos as 3. We have Lenny as 4. Lenny Pena as 4.
No, Tiffany's 2187 now. That just changed. Tiffany 2187.
Literally, it just changed.
Oh, okay. So before that change, Tiffany was
Literally
running
just changed.
5th,
Literally.
and then number 6 was Sandra Lopez. Interesting. Great.
We could.
But they're all clumped together.
They're all
Great.
clumped
How many
together.
How
You know,
many?
Eric is up
Was
there.
it 8 in the final for the
This is
school
going to be
committee?
a very competitive
8
final
for the
election.
school committee. 8 or 9 for the school
6.
committee.
6.
But, to go on?
Uh,
Well, that's a great question. I didn't believe it. Plus 2, 8.
I know it's 6 for the counselor at large. You missed
Yeah.
8 for the school committee. Yeah,
6, 7, yeah.
which puts Nicole in a pretty good place in that large. I think.
Oh, yeah.
She should be very happy.
She
here.
should be
She's done a
very
good job
happy.
raising money. If you look at her finance, by the way, anyone can check out anyone's OCPF reports, which is Office of Campaign and Political Finance, including myself, although I have very few money. And she's done a nice job of raising money. And what's great is you get to see in real time how candidates are spending it. So if you have a question, obviously transparency is a big issue in campaigns. And we have one of the most transparent campaign finance laws in the country, and we extended that to mayors and city councilors of certain sizes, and Lynn qualifies, so you can go right on ocpf.us and check out candidates from around the Commonwealth.
These people don't want to admit it. Massachusetts got its stuff together when it comes to a lot of things.
Steve, we hate being right all the time, don't we? No one seems to want to listen to us, though. So we'll just keep on doing things our way.
But this is really important, I think, right? How a candidate raises the money and the choices that they are making and whom is donating to their campaign all has meaning at the end of the day. So,
Do you get texts all night long? I haven't got one.
Oh, please, this is how it always is. I get texts from everyone saying this and that. Clearly we're going to have a new crop of elected officials that, by virtue of having openings,
yes.
and it's exciting. It
looks good for the future, too,
yeah,
right?
it does.
We have a pipeline.
We need people to step up.
We have a pipeline,
Yeah.
and we need other people to also step up. I
You're-
agree with
And
you.
we have great seniority. We have folks who've
Yes.
been a while.
Yes.
And they, I mean, if you listen, if you talk, you know all these candidates. And they love to be able to teach other
Others.
people the ropes.
Yes.
And that's how it gets passed off. You know,
We
many
are
politicians have taught me.
missing
And
one precinct for mayor. I don't know why. Ward 7 has
All in.
is all in for mayor, but no report, no results for anything else. Every 6, 5, 4, 3,
all
and 2
in for
are all
mayor, but
in.
no results for city.
Okay,
for
so if they're all in for
One,
mayor,
two
Ward
is
7.
just-
I'm curious in a couple of numbers for mayor.
Okay.
Ward races for mayor. I'm curious about, we know 7-1, that's a big one. I'm curious about 2-1, and I'm curious
hasn't
about
come in.
1-2. So those haven't come in.
1, 2 is not in.
1, 2 is not
And
in.
1-3.
And 1, 3 is in.
Yeah.
All right, let's give some more numbers so
Okay,
people can give a,
128 for Satterwhite, 161 for Sayre, 177 for Nicholson.
Okay, so it sounds like in Ward 1, okay, those are pretty consistent with what happened in 1-1. What about 1-4 and 2-1?
1-4 was 106 Satterwhite, 141 for Sayre, 186. I got to stop myself to make sure I get 186 for Nicholson.
And then 2-1?
2-1 would be 120 for Satterwhite,
Yeah.
259 for Sayre, and 216 for Nicholson.
Interesting. Okay. What about 5-4 for the mayor's
5-4.
race? Because that, again, is heavily senior, Wall
5-4.
Towers,
Sure.
St. Stephen's, all those places.
84 for Satterwhite.
No, 5-4. You're
Yeah,
reading.
4-4. Oh, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. 9, I got to get new glasses,
5-4.
man. 98, and I don't even have them on. 98 for Satterwhite, 71 for Sayre, and 113 for Nicholson.
Wow, that's very interesting. So that's Mass Senior Action is extremely busy
Yeah.
down there and active.
Yeah.
That's an interesting number to me because I know that, like I
think
said, there was a
this-
targeted mailing for seniors.
I think the number one take I get out of all of this is that Nicholson, he pretty much swept all the way across the city. He was strong everywhere. With one precinct to go, I think we can make that statement. He was strong
few, yeah.
everywhere.
But all within distance.
I was
They're
going
all
to say,
within a
they're
margin of
all
error that's pretty
within
close.
distance. I don't think the spread is that wide.
There's no,
but certainly, he executed a smart campaign.
Yes.
Yeah. The voters haven't sent a message. We want this.
Yes.
It seems like, and I think we've all experienced it. You talk to people in the grocery store, you talk to people, at the library, places like that, and they say, "Who are you going to vote for mayor?" And they go, "I like them all. I don't know.
Yeah.
Everyone has their strengths." It wasn't a very
Nobody ran away with this.
No.
no, and they shouldn't have because the candidates put in the time and the effort,
Yes.
spent the money, and did the mailings. It wasn't.
Yeah.
There was no gadflies. I
I
should
think
say.
the candidates should feel good about the campaigns they ran and their races. They're quite respectable. They're all right in there.
Dan, as a former candidate yourself, until the next election,
Till
then
next
you'll be
year.
a present candidate. What is your cutoff, or do you have a cutoff for recounts?
It's very. I think it's a difficult question to answer because I think it all comes down to a few things, such as like, what type of race was it? If it's a contentious race and you're talking about a handful of votes, of course you're going to try to do a recount. But if it's more amicable and there's a clear, I don't think this is close enough at all for recounts.
I'm looking specifically Satterwhite and Sear.
I don't think the
Oh,
numbers
I
are
don't
there for
think
them. I
so.
think you
I
really
don't
need to,
think so.
because, mind you, it's expensive and it's time intensive. And, Michael Satterwhite's young. This isn't,
Yeah.
if this is the election
don't
that
think
he may not hold on to,
Yeah.
he
I
has
don't
a
think that
bright
would
future in
warrant-
other things. I mean, there's plenty of, remember, Lynn's new population is 101,000 people.
Yeah.
As that population grows, we become, I know we will become even more of a force in Essex County, in the congressional district, for offices. And we've seen it. John O'Brien is from Lynn. He's the Registrar of Deeds. Sheriff Coppinger from Lynn. There's a few other positions. Pam and Casey O'Brien, families from Lynn, even though she lives in Saugus, strong Lynn presence. So I think someone like Mike Satterwhite is a great countywide candidate in the future, potentially. Or there could be other races. We have redistricting. We have redistricting at the state level. You're going to see state senate districts change. You're going to see state rep districts change. You're going to see congressional districts change. And I wouldn't be surprised if these candidates, you see their names on ballots in the future.
The future.
And the state election's coming up.
Yeah.
There's a big question whether or not Governor Baker's going to run for re-election, if there's be openings there. The down ballot's auditor, and somebody's whispering in my ear again. I can barely hear anything. Who's on the phone? Richie? Kaluch. Rich Kaluch's on phone.
Jerry,
Hey, Kaluch, you
Kaluch.
there?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yes.
sorry you lost for a brief moment there for the primary, but you came out with a victory.
Yeah, it was a Phoenix. It was a Phoenix moment.
Yes. How do you feel? How's everything going? What was the secret?
I'm doing okay. I want to thank the voters of Ward 4 for giving me some support again.
It was a tight race, Rich. What are you going to do for the final election?
We're going to work hard.
Great.
And work. And work.
Do you want to thank anybody in your camp?
What did you say to me?
Do you want to thank anyone in particular? Your wife. In your
I
camp.
want to call my wife, my supporters, that understand all the people that voted for me today.
And now, Rich, you're the longest serving city councilor in Lynn history. And the voters want to know, what does McDonald's charge you in the morning for coffee?
They charged me $1.48 for a nice coffee.
Like everybody else, right?
Exactly.
Exactly.
I think so.
All right. Anything else?
Just Kalushi for 414.
getting stuff done. All right, well, thank you very much, Richard. Congratulations on tonight, and good luck in the final election.
Thank you, sir.
Congratulations, Rich.
Congratulations.
And he now will text me 75 times between now and by the time I go to bed. But
I'd
that's
love
why we
to,
love kiss everybody.
before we sign, I'd love to hear from Jared. You watching, Jared? Give us a call.
Well, we'll have to send him a
That'd be
text. I'm
great.
sure he's getting 1,000 texts, but let's hear from him, and I think Darren Sear as well.
Yeah.
But they may be all busy. What's the number to call in?
I don't know. Maybe that's why we've only gotten 2.
Okay.
You
Ooh,
texting.
we get a little.
Nicholson and Darren Sear.
Dave has got his wand
numbers
over
change at
1,
all?
2.
Yeah.
No, I thought he was going to fill something in, but no.
Oh, any more school committee tallies folks are
Yeah,
looking for?
Yeah.
we got all of 5, 6, and 7 in now. No, we don't have.
No.
We don't have them in for. Oh, wait
Still
a minute.
there.
Yeah,
Yes.
we do. All right. So
Okay.
these are, except for the one precinct
Oh.
from one ward, so we have 27 out of 28. Oh, wait a minute. We got 1, 2.
I will just
The
pause you for
school
1
committee.
second. I will pause you. If you are a candidate and you would like to speak with us, the phone number is 781-780-9460. That's 781-780-9460. I would just ask that our folks working here at Lynn TV screen these people well, because I know some rascals that might want to call in and pretend to be other people. You know who you are.
Terrific.
I'm watching you. I'm probably one of them. But
Okay, we have 1, 2 coming in finally.
okay.
Which would make the mayor's complete with Nicholson winning 3-2 to
Okay.
1.
1 second.
Nicholson 3-2 to 1. Sayre 2-5-9-3. And Satterwhite 2-2-8-6.
Okay, we're going to have some final numbers in a minute, but right now we have Councilor at Large Brian Lapierre, who's joining us on the phone. Brian.
Ryan.
Good evening, Dan, Steve, Magnolia. How are you guys?
We
We're
are
doing
well,
well.
thank
How
you.
are you,
How
sir?
are you feeling?
We're doing great. The campaign feels great. The race for us starts tomorrow. We're very excited to top the ticket tonight. Thank you, Lynn.
Great.
What do you attribute your continuing popularity to, Brian?
Well, Steve, as you know, it's, I think, a continuance of constituent service. We really put a premium on returning our calls, trying to make sure we can answer residents' questions, do what we can for them, and a combination of getting out there across the summer, over the summer, and as Magnolia said earlier, we had a rainy July and a really hot August. But, you know, it's been really nice to be able to get out in the fall weather and meet constituents and find out where people are at. With COVID and everything else, it's been a very challenging election cycle, but we're up to the task and we're really looking forward to November. I really want to thank you guys for your great analysis, and we're really happy to be moving on to November.
I think Dan mentioned the word earlier tonight, Brian. This could be a transformative election in the city. What would you say to that?
I agree with you. You know, the old days of Lynn being simply a transactional sort of relationship is gone. I think transformative politics and speaking to the issues that really matter to Lynners is what we've been doing over the past several months. It's not just the nitty-gritty with me, sidewalks or better plowing or track service, but more the big picture of responsible development, making sure we're there for affordability for people to live here, grow their families here, work and play. And we've really sort of transcended our campaign and got to meet people where they're at around the real issues that matter to Lynners and not just surface sort of doing the mundane things, if you will.
Brian, it looks like the final numbers are out from City Hall, and it looks like you topped the ticket for at-large in the primary. How do you feel?
Well, I contribute that rep to a lot of hard work and a lot of folks around the city. I felt good all day getting around. I felt a lot of momentum on our side. A lot of folks say if I'm not their first favorite, I'm certainly their fourth favorite.
And in a field race like this, that's really where you need to be, is get a lot of votes from across the city. And we're proving that we can do that tonight, and we can build that momentum into November.
Brian, I think a lot of people appreciate your accessibility. And sometimes you have to tell the community something that they don't want to hear, and they appreciate that honesty that you bring to this. And I think that's the confirmation you received tonight by it looks like you did top the ticket.
Well, Magnolia, thank you for that, because I think being forthright as an elected official and really being a straight shooter as I am, sometimes the questions and the answers don't gel up. But at the same time, I try to tell people the real truth and give them a little picture of what might be happening behind the scenes at City Hall and in government in general. And I try my best to work with folks where they're at, and I'm really proud of our record. So I'm really excited by tonight. Thank you all.
Brian, you must have some idea going. Did you hang up, Brian?
No, I'm still here.
Okay. You must have some idea just from polling and things like that where you stand going into one of these things, but do you still get butterflies just the same?
You know, because of COVID, though, Steve, I think we're all thrown a curveball this election cycle. I mean, I'm going to do well in the places I've historically done well, and that's out again tonight. You know, the elderly stands out, the Fayette State, where I grew up, was 3. But when you look at it across the city, I don't think any one of us could really have predicted how many votes we're going to get out of the 28 precincts. So as Maggie, I think it's really a combination of being out there and being acceptable and telling people, you know, sometimes what they don't want to hear, but being a realist as well, and how we're going to take Lynn heights over the next 2 years.
Terrific.
Thank you.
Brian, thank you so much.
Thanks a lot.
Congratulations, Counselor.
Congratulations.
Good luck in November.
All right, looks like someone was trying to dial in. Now we believe we have Jared Nicholson who's calling in.
See, Jared answered my plea.
But I get him on my little phone here, so I'm going to tell him to call the main number. Is that the best way to do it?
781-780-9460.
The final number is going to come in. Jared, could you call the main number? I'm going to text it to you right now, okay? Thank you.
781, you got it?
Here we go. These are accurate final numbers.
Final numbers.
From City Hall. What do you think? It's what we kind of suggested. I'm just going to text the phone number, though, to one of the candidates.
I think, you know, you want to thank the voters for coming out on this election day. Those are respectable numbers for Lynn, I think, in a race where there wasn't, I don't know, a larger election, maybe. And I think it really shows that Nicholson really ran a citywide race, and but there's still a lot of work to do between now and November for him and for Sear.
Well, you got a Chamber of Commerce perfect early fall, late summer day to have this. So, I mean, there's no meteorological reason why anybody wouldn't have come out to vote. I'm pretty happy with what these numbers say in terms of turnout. I think that these final mayoral numbers at least reflect my view that we had 3 very, very good candidates.
Yeah.
And the split would bear that out, I think.
Well, here are the final. It's just ringing. All right, just so 2 things. One, these are the final numbers for
Councilor at Large,
but also for the Lynn Television folks. The number we gave to Jared Nicholson, he said this is just ringing. So, that's because we have Natasha on the phone. So we're going to keep those numbers up. We're going to let Natasha go next. Natasha.
Welcome, Natasha.
Hi. Well, thank you for having me. Hi. I just want to come on really quick and just thank all the voters for voting, and especially the ones that voted for me. I know that I still have some work to do, but I'm ready to get on the ground, and I'm fighting. I'm going to be your next ward councilor, so I'm very excited about it. We need change in Ward 4, and I want to be that change.
Natasha, what were some of the things that you focused on in this election to get these results?
Well, we're just knocking on doors every day and making phone calls and just talking to our neighbors, just getting people out to vote. So the numbers were better than they've been in the past. But we just I want everybody to vote. So I want more numbers. I want more people to get out and vote. We need to make our voices heard, and it's time for change. It's time for change in Lynn, and I'm ready to bring that change.
Tasha, what was your get out the vote strategy for today?
For today, just like reminding people to get out and vote. We sent text messages and just various things. But just like every day, we've been knocking on doors. So just like the more voters that we can talk to, the better. I'm willing to talk to anybody who wants to talk to me. So I definitely think that that I can bring a lot to the city council. I'm an attorney, and I am responsive. You know, when I talk to people, they said that they don't even know who their counselor is, and he doesn't call them back. And I just want to be a different kind of counselor. So I'm very excited to take on that role. So,
Well, congratulations, and best of luck in the final election.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
I believe Jared Nicholson's going to call in next, and we're waiting for a few other. We got more numbers in, yeah? Hold on, we did get the official numbers are out. These are official numbers from City Hall.
Okay, LaPierre first.
Counselor at large numbers. Final.
LaPierre.
So listen, the
Matt.
four incumbents are on top, but Nicole McLean was very close, and here's a school committee race. So again, we have Donna
Wow.
Coppola, we have Lorraine Gailey.
Castellano.
Lenny Pena should be so pleased.
Yeah, what a showing for him.
Yeah.
Pena. Okay, so it looks like the
Well,
three
Lopez
incumbents
not
are
too
back
bad
in.
either.
And very close for those last two seats
Yeah.
between Richard, Lopez, and Dugan. There we go. That's very close numbers. Very close. It's ringing. Okay, so now Nicole McLean. Okay, now Nicole McLean, and then let's get Jared Nicholson on after that because he's called a few times. So let's hold the line for Jared Nicholson after Nicole McLean. Nicole, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Hi, Nicole. Congratulations on a
congratulations.
good primary campaign.
Yeah, I think it was a really good turnout. I'm very excited.
What was your
So I want to
strategy?
call in and just talk to you guys and say hello and just share in the excitement. I can't believe it.
Tell us what you did that allowed you to get these results.
We've been door knocking. We sent out a robocall. We've been doing a lot of Facebook and social media ads. We've just been doing whatever we do because I feel like there's no silver bullet. You need to try everything that you can try, and we've been trying everything. So that's how we're doing it. We've been in the paper as well, so it's been amazing.
What's your strategy going into the final election?
Going into the final election, we're going to be doing text messaging, I believe. We just finished speaking. And we're going to be just doing a lot more of the door knocking and just trying to do positive things in the community to spread the word about, Nicole McLean and the campaign.
Great.
Great. Well,
I have to give a shout out to my campaign manager, Adriana Paz, and all of my peers, especially from today, who held signs for me, and everybody that's been just doing awesome work. We've had a lot of people helping us and supporting us with writing thank you notes, with holding signs, and it's just been a lot of support, and I want to, the community. Thank you guys.
Well,
Thank you. Good work.
congratulations.
Good work.
We got all the candidates calling in all at once. You can hear people beeping in, texts of people trying to get in. So who do we have next to call in? Anyone on the line?
Jared?
Now watch, no one will call. Anyone? Who just called? Oh, I thought you said O'Brien. I said, oh, that's Brian Castellanos. You got the floor.
Hi.
Congratulations.
Oh, no, honestly, it's wonderful. I'm humbled and really just grateful to have the opportunity to actually be here today to talk with you guys.
So, this is not your first election. Oh,
I think it hung up.
I think you know what though? He's known for his brevity. He's known for his brevity. So we appreciate that greatly. The man is right to his point. He was happy. Boom, right off to the supporters. Okay, who else we got? We have any more numbers we can put up as well while we wait for folks to call in?
This is live TV. This is
No, this is being taped.
Live TV.
Actually,
This
is actually Monday. We pre-recorded this thinking that we would be correct in all the numbers.
Hello, who's
We
here?
got Brian back on. Brian has made it back on.
Hey guys, sorry, I lost connection, guys.
Must have been on Linfield Street or on Eastern Ave.
Or down by the beach, one of the three.
Bahama Beach, exactly. So, everyone's calling in. So, Brian, tell us what's your strategy moving forward?
Well, moving forward, it's really just the grassroots. You know, my strategy has always been grassroots. It's really, every constituent I have it's family. It really is. Any issue that comes to the table, I pursue any problem at a grassroots level. It's family, and I really love to be able to serve the parents and the students and the staff and the people at this district. So I take a lot of pride in that, and I'm relentless. I don't give up. So this is really a win for the city. I can't wait to keep working forward and continue the work. We're going to keep going. This is just the start. We need to get to that November 2nd general election. Got to get people out to vote. So it's very important that folks get involved and really start to get engaged and continue to, just to keep it. I'm going to keep being out there. So got to show up.
Well, you're being rewarded with another strong showing. Good work, Brian.
Thank you so much, everyone. And thank you all for your time tonight.
Thank you, Brian.
Brian, congratulations. Best of luck in November.
Another plug to raise some money for Lynn TV so we can have a call system that can take more than one call at a time.
Yeah.
Call waiting is a very nice tool. However, they need your support to be able to take multiple calls. Do we have any other candidates who wish to call in? They're all going to call in at once.
We have those 50 songs we can play now.
All right. Do we have anyone calling in at the moment? And they're all sitting there. Now everyone's busy. Okay. Now it's busy. Well, that being said, I think people want to see some more numbers just in case they're just joining us. We've seen a spirited night. A lot of, here's some ward races. Again, if you don't see it, wards 1, 5, 6, and 7, there was no race in those wards.
Correct.
Hello?
Lenny Pena. We have Lenny Pena now on the line.
Lenny?
Yes.
Congratulations.
You had a great showing.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you. First of all, I'd like to thank God and all my constituents for coming out. It's very exciting. We worked hard.
Great.
Well, this isn't your first election. This is your second, and the results have improved. I think that's a testament to your good campaigning.
Thank you. Yeah, we're out there. We're knocking on doors. We're working hard, and we're putting in the work. So, and it's not just my effort; it's the team that I'm working with, and I'm very proud of them. I wouldn't be here without them.
Obviously, you learned from 2 years ago. What are some of the things you learned that kind of helped you get over this hump this time?
Well, you got to go out there and you got to knock. You got to walk, knock, and talk. You got to go everywhere, and it's tough when you're running a citywide, race, and you just got to get out there, and walk, knock, and talk, the old school,
Is that your intention?
I like that. That's your slogan, right?
Yeah. Is that what you plan to do moving forward? What's your strategy moving forward?
We got to continue. We're going to continue to push and just get out there and just talk and listen to people, and get out there and continue to work hard. And we got a few, we got a little way more to go, but I'm very glad, very happy with the results.
Well, congratulations, Lenny. You should be. And good luck in the final election. It's going to be a very spirited final.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we have other folks calling in. Who do we have now? Oh, trying to wait for someone to call in. Did you say you're Tom McGee? No, Tom's not calling it. Tom's got his feet up right now with a glass of wine.
Yeah.
Enjoying the night.
Getting ready to watch the Red Sox lose again.
All right, I know that we've had several attempts by Jared Nicholson.
Is there a way that they can call him?
I can call him on my cell phone, but I don't
Or
know.
if these guys call him?
Yeah, should we just give the cell phone
Yeah.
out? Should we give the private cell phone out? We should just give it to everybody, right? No? Okay.
No, but can we call him?
I mean, I can on this. I could call all the candidates. Wouldn't that be fun?
Yeah.
Surprise! Oh, who do we got now? Hey!
Well,
Hold on
what
a
do you
second.
know?
We have Jared Nicholson next. Hold on. Jared, you there?
Yes, I am.
Congratulations.
Hey, good showing, Jared. That was great.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
What was the secret here?
Well, we try to talk to as many voters as we could, and we put forward a message about a vision that we built in the campaign based on those conversations for a better Lynn that includes all of us and includes the whole city. And we're really excited that the voters were supportive of that at this stage, and even more excited to be able to share it with the rest of the city over the course of the next 7 weeks.
You pretty well, I mean, except for a couple of isolated precincts, you pretty well performed well all the way across the city.
Yeah, we're really excited about the results. We did feel like we tried to run a campaign that reached the whole city, and we're thrilled. You know, I feel really grateful for the support of the voters, the support of the team that we put together, and also for all the candidates in the race. I think it was it has been a wonderful race with three great candidates, and we're excited to move on and continue that work.
Jared, few people thought that you would have won tonight. If I'm going to be perfectly honest. They thought you'd be in the top two, but no one predicted, very few, maybe you did, that you'd be in the top. So moving forward, how are you going to try to keep that lead? And what other types of groups or organizations are you going to be targeting to see if you can gain some additional support?
Well, I mean, I think that's the key, Dan, that we want to continue to build the coalition, and we feel like what we're doing and have opportunities to connect individually with voters and hear what's on their minds and share what we're thinking is what's going to power this campaign. And we're hoping to get more and more people involved. So we encourage anyone who is interested in getting involved and reaching out to me, reaching out to our team. Our website's www.jarednicholson.org. People can sign up to volunteer, and we could definitely use the help as we look to grow this conversation.
Jared, what was your get out the vote strategy for today, and where is your after party?
We are at Trios on Market Street, which is a fantastic establishment that we feel lucky to be enjoying this evening. And for Get Out the Vote, we wanted to make sure that we to reach voters, and so lots of knocking on doors, lots of phone calls, and as always, we're so grateful for those opportunities that people give us, just a few moments of their time for us to connect. And I'm always really surprised, or I don't know, inspired by those opportunities to just see local democracy at work by being able to get on somebody's doorstep and talk to them about the future of the city.
Congratulations,
Congratulations
Jared. This is
again,
terrific.
Jared.
Good luck. There's still a lot of work for you to do.
Thank you so much. That's absolutely true. We got 7 more weeks to get the message out, and we're going to work hard to do it.
All right.
All right, well, enjoy tonight. Looks like we have a couple of other calls, folks trying to get in.
I was going to say something cheap about wrestling, but I couldn't.
How'd you like it when I said that he wasn't going to win?
I thought you were looking at me when you said
I was being
that.
a little jokey.
I think you were.
You know,
Controversial.
controversial. You know, you never know how people are going to react to that. So no one thought you'd win tonight, so...
That's why
You
you have your
wrestled it
very
away,
serious
though.
voice.
All right, who's next? Marvin Hippolyte? Okay, Marvin, you're next, buddy.
I thought you were looking at me like.
Marvin.
Yep.
Hey,
Marvin,
you're
how
live on
Marvin.
TV.
Hey, am I on there?
You're on.
Yes. Hi, Marvin.
Hey, what's up, guys? How y'all doing?
Great tonight. Congratulations. You
How
had a
are
nice,
you?
strong showing.
Well, no, thank you so much. That's exactly what I'm calling in about, because I just wanted to make sure
so people know that we ain't going nowhere. You know, we're the youngest team running this election right now. You know, we don't have the same money as our opponents, but what we're really trying to do is build a movement. You know, we always say this every year after year. We're always in the same position every primary. We're always the underdog, but then in the finals we come back strong because we're training young volunteers. We're having meaningful conversations at the door, and you know what? On the bigger picture, candidates of color did very well. You know what I'm saying? And I feel really, really good about where we're at because we did a very light push, very, very light push for the primaries because we knew we wouldn't be eliminated. For us to have 1,500 votes, I feel really confident.
So Marvin, I saw your pamphlets in many people's kitchens, starting in the spring, all through the summer, and into September. So you've been knocking on a lot of doors, and a lot of people have said how they've really enjoyed your message, and you've been very approachable, down to earth. So what's the push now? You mentioned a light push. So what's the heavy push to the general election?
Well, we're going to double down. We're going to double down on fundraising. We're going to double down on the door knocking. And I mean, I'll say this: door knocking is our bread and butter, like you mentioned. You know, we've been all across the city. We were one of the first campaigns out. So we're going to double down and push. But man, I just have to say I'm really excited about this because this was a temperature check for us to kind of see where we were at. And then we were also kind of testing our messaging to get some of our folks out for the mayoral election. And for 1,500 people to come out, like, I kid you not, we did a very light push. So this is very encouraging. And I think this kind of shows us which precincts we need to go work into. But as I mentioned, this is truly about the movement because, you know, housing's on the ballot. You know what I'm saying? Equity, city services, which is the big thing for me. So I feel real confident about that. And I've been so excited watching these races tonight. Natasha did very well. Nicole did incredible. Jose Manuel had a strong showing. Lynn and Pena, my God, did great. I feel good.
Yeah.
So you ran a ward race a couple of times, and now a city at large race, much different. Any surprises aside from you having to walk 7 times as hard?
Oh my God, Lynn is a big city, but you know, in some ways harder because it's a larger area. You have a larger area to cover, but in some ways it's easier because you're not sort of confined to one general area. And we're finding that we have great conversations with people from all walks of life. You know, we have great conversations with people who have opposite political beliefs than us. We have people who are just young and disengaged, and it's just been a ball. I love the people of the city even more after this experience.
Well, thank you very much, Marvin, and thanks for calling in, and congratulations on your strong showing, and good luck in the final election.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
All right, we have another person calling in. I can barely hear. Okay. Miss Cleo, no.
You're so crazy.
Hold on. God?
You're so nuts.
God was none of the
Hello.
He's a little busy.
Who?
It's
Keep interacting with you. I thought they said Bob Fennell. And I said, Bob's calling.
Do they want us to just chit-chat?
Apparently they do. How about some final numbers? Some people have been working. They haven't been able to see the numbers.
I'm kind of...
I got to wear this earpiece today, and okay, good. There we go.
I think the question is, you know, what's Satterwhite's strategy? What does he do next?
What's his next goal? I mean, this is not the end of Mike Satterwhite. We're going to see him, like we talked about, in the future.
He's young and he's sharp. That's
he is very sharp.
He's going somewhere.
And I practice in the Lynn legal area, and he's a very good lawyer. Okay, so we have some council at larges. We're highlighting now the folks who had finished. If they're in yellow, that means that seat, if the general was held today, they would have been winners. But so this is the top 4 out of the 7 candidates, and all have done very nicely.
Yes, they really have. They really have.
And then if this was highlighted, Rick Starbuck would have been highlighted there. Coco Alsung would have been highlighted there, as well as Rich Colucci. Now, if you really want to be a nerd, you'll start looking at the blanks and seeing how people match
Well,
up. Here's a school committee.
Yeah.
Okay, all very close.
Excellent.
And newcomers, we have, I believe, the only 3 who have not run for a campaign.
Previous campaign.
Is Danny Richard and Eric Dugan and Po Sung. So these are the 3 folks that are new to campaigning, because Tiffany Magnolia has run a few times.
Yes.
Sandra Lopez has, and Lenny Pena last time ran for at large. So he has some experience in the 3 incumbents.
Yeah.
So those numbers are going to change as people start to do more campaigning.
Plenty of,
Indeed.
but plenty of maneuverability among those candidates. Matter of fact, I think there's plenty of maneuverability up and down the
I
line.
agree.
Well, it's 9:44
foregone
right
conclusions.
now. We're not getting any more phone calls, I'm told. Maybe everyone's gone to bed. I know it's time for us to go to bed.
Past mine.
So I want to thank Lynn TV, who've done a fantastic job, and the men and women who have been working here all night tirelessly, and those folks who helped us get the numbers in from the polling places. And of course, I want to thank my co-hosts, Magnolia Contreras, Steve Krause. Thank you very much
Thank
for the
you.
good work both of you done. Maybe if we've done well enough, if our ratings top 15 viewers, maybe we'll get invited back for the final election.
I want to say,
That would be-
I want to say thank you to Dan for having the thing in his ear.
Yeah, this is
That was
very,
cer-
very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Very
That's
uncomfortable.
why I recommended that you be the one that did it.
Thank you.
there
I
you
have
go.
a couple of microphones in different places, and I'm very uncomfortable right now.
Yeah.
Ed
Good
Magnolia,
night.
what do you think?
This was really fun.
I roped you into this.
Yes, you did.
Thank
this
you.
was really
I'm
fun.
glad he
and
did.
I
I'm off
look
the Christmas
forward
card list, aren't I?
And I look
You're on
forward
mine.
to participating again.
Yeah.
Hopefully Dan didn't offend anybody and they'll invite us back for November.
I was the one worried about me offending somebody. But
Yes,
No, Dan did that.
Several texts, Steve, about
Dan
is he
did
going to
that.
offend someone, and you did a great job. Great job tonight.
Dan
Well,
was
thank
able to
you.
do that.
And I want to thank all the candidates for a great campaign, and thanks for Lynn Television, and for my co-hosts. And have a
Thank
great
you.
night,
Great
everybody. We'll
work.
see you at the final election on
night.
November 2nd.
Good night.
Here, sitting here, it's got a school built. I'm the only candidate sitting here with the